ュービジョンシティでの重要任務に関する通達を受け取った。行くわよ。
うわ、楽しみ。
行くわよ。手を貸せ。
あれは何なんだ。
こいつもポストヒューマンなのか。トグさん。
何やってんだ。
スイッチブレード起動しました。これでも食らえ。注意、移動中です。遅い。そうささやくのよ、私のゴーストは。
立駒、援護しろ。その調子だ、立駒。お前はよくやってるよ。
でしょ。バトルさんは分かってるな。
本当のことだ。
アーバントラッカー会いたかったよ。
ニュービジョンシティでの重要任務に関する通達を受け取った。行くわよ。
うわ、楽しみ。
Good day, soldier, and welcome to the show. This is Garena Survivors Season 2 Legacy. And this has been titled Legacy for a reason, because this is where teams who has built their legacy will be meeting up with teams who will be creating their own. The biggest, baddest, and toughest Battle Royale competition of Garena Call of Duty Mobile is here. And to bring you the hottest action into the battlefield and into your screen, I am Neptune the Gemma Garcia. Together with me is the one and only Cali Gaming.
Yo, we got the best out of the best squads competing here today, who spent countless hours, days, weeks, and months of preparation leading up to this tournament time. How effective will the game plan prepared by every squad out there once they all go up against one another in that clash on the season opener of Garena Survivors Season 2 Call of Duty Mobile Battle Royale. And it's a new season, which means it's another journey, Boss Neptune, and a lot of stories to unfold. Now we begin day number 1.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, speaking of stories, there's a lot of stories that has been brought in from season 1. But as Callie mentioned, a lot more of stories will be unfolding right now because we all know that some of the teams have made a lot of restructure and re-roster to bring in the best team in here. But we'll have to find out what else they will be offering. Will it be the same team gameplay as well as competition or composition from the previous season, or will it be different as we go along? But guys, for those of you in here jumping into the stream, just like and share the stream. Those are the 2 things that you can do. Actually, there's 3. Make sure that you follow all the platforms that we have where we are showing this tournament, because the Garena Survivors Season 2 will be starting in a bit. But before that, Cali Gaming, I'm pretty sure the viewers, the fans out there are also interested on how this will go with the tournament format that we have. And I'm really happy on how this has been set. Like, compared to the whole lobby, the lobby will be shown. There's only 16 teams right now. But let's check out the tournament format in here and let's discuss that even further, Callie.
Oh yeah, obviously we got here the tournament format. We got the semifinal first half, which is going to be 16 teams. Then you also have the other bracket, which is on the lower side of the lower side of this tournament format, which is semifinal 2. The other 16 squads, and obviously the top 8 teams will advance to that next stage. Now, here's the biggest difference in this coming event. At this time around, it's a first-person perspective feature that will be used all throughout the matches here, Neptune. This time, you get a closer look on gun battles and engagements, making it more intense and more competitive. Third-person mode generally provides you with the more peripheral vision, meaning to say, you get way more information. You get to see what is coming up ahead, allowing you to play more defensively. This especially applies heavily when you have a prime position in the circle, wherein you want to gatekeep, and of course, nearby enemy units will have a rough time approaching you. On the flip side, first-person mode with limited peripheral vision, it allows every squad to commit even more tactically, but even they also can play more aggressively, relying even more on aim and accuracy here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen from the previous season with alternating of TPP and FPP that it's most challenging when the teams are jumping into the FPP mode. And this time, the challenge continues. Everything will be an FPP, first-person perspective. So there's only 180 degrees of visibility from the members of the team. So it's more of tactical, as you mentioned, Callie. But I'm really, really happy on how it progresses to this point, because the TPP, as you mentioned, gives you more visibility, but it really, really, gives a different advantage to the players of the team. So FPP really will bring in more challenge and more of the competitive scene to bring on who is the best in Battle Royale. But let's check out, Callie, what are the teams really fighting for? Because the prize pool right now in here, if for those of you who are new, this is a total of 25,000 US dollars, and the first place will be taking home 10,000 USDs. That is a lot. That is a lot of money right there. Second place, 4,500. Third place will be 3,000 US dollars, and the fourth place will be 1,000 or 1,500 US dollars.
And yeah, continuing forward, rank for your 5th to 8th place, you got 750 USD. 9 to 12 gets you 500. 13 and 16 still gets a piece of that pie with 250 US dollars. And I mean, Neptune, Garena Call of Duty Mobile Survivor Season 2 features the best of the best Battle Royale squads of Garena Malaysia, Singapore, and Philippines. But the main goal for every squad here competing is to reach the pinnacle of Call of Duty Mobile Battle Royale. And it's to be called the kings, to be called the champions. But to add even more spice to it, we have 25,000 US dollars up for grab in this major event, which makes it more worthy to fight for.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, speaking of fighting, like a lot of teams have been fighting hard, trying to bring down the kings that we have. And this is what will help them to put in all those ranks and all those points right now to really elevate their teams compared to those who are already leading and taking the crown in the Battle Royale scene of Call of Duty Mobile. The winner in here for each round will be taking home or will be taking 10 points. And as we go down, that was a minus 4 points in there, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up until 7 to 8 place. Unfortunately, for those placing in the 9th to 16th place, will have no points. And this is what we often talk about in the Battle Royale scene. The kills can take over or overtake anyone who has 10 points in the winner if they'll be able to survive longer and bring on a lot of engagement.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have to agree with you, Neptune. You know, what gets you the most points is the 1 point you earn every after kill. I mean, giving to say that it's given that, of course, the number one spot gets you 10 points. But if you can score 20 kills overall as a team, that's more than likely for that winner. But then again, displacement points are very important because it dictates your ranking and are calculated using match data per placement and kills. And now we are going to see the team participant in a while. And obviously, the first group that we will have, it is quite stacked, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the teams right now in here will really bring in a great show because in a bit we're going to see them, but I'll really like to point it out. Oh, there we have it. We have the teams right now. Now, for the first group, none other than the champions, the kings of Garena Call of Duty Mobile Battle Royale scene, Vagabond Esports. For 8 major tournaments, they keep on winning, and no one has made any move, or they tried to make a move, but hasn't been successful to take them down. So with this team right now being on this group, first group, we are going to see a lot of good gameplays and engagement. But Callie, you know that despite of having Vagabond Esports, Riley Esports, Rivalry Esports, and of course, we have the NRX 420 in the house. And I love their comeback right now because they will be bringing in the OGs of the NRX 420. Daddy Blink will be in here as well. Now, continuing on, Team DAO VITAS in here will be joining us. And if you remember VITAS, this is more of the most wanted who has joined, partnered up with an organization. GGT Esports as well will be in there on the 6th. And Team DAO as well in here, E Phoenix. This was previously known as HE Phoenix. And on number 8, SDPH Vicious.
Oh yeah, absolutely, you're right. And having said all that, NRX Philippians 413 is the squad that I really look forward to the most here. For those who don't know, NRX Philippians 420, they placed 9th in Garena Survivors, tallying 123 total points in the finals. But then again, as you previously mentioned, Neptune, they have Daddy Blink going to join us in this competition. The big question is, what's going to be the game plan like for this team? Where will Blink and Fabi work their magic as they go into that battlefield? And obviously, there's a lot of teams to talk about in this game. And obviously, one of the other team that I really look forward to the most here is going to be Team DAO VITAS. Again, W VITAS, who in the qualifier placed number 1 in Group C, where they scored total points of 128 and of course 87 kills. That really says a lot what this team can do. And with them here at this battlefield, they will be one of the threats here at this qualified semifinals top 16 teams for Group 1.
Yeah, and we have in there ARMAMENT RODZINA who's also joining us back. We have 13 MAGNUS right now, though. 13 Esports has been in there from the previous competition. I think this is a new team who will be joining us on MAGNUS. NRX XIII will be there as well. And another team from the NICAEA, and this is the FALCONS. Vitality CL, SIGRA KRONOS, the SIGRA band, has already put in like a lot of good gameplays in the team. And we have DVK Faldrus as well as AXP Eternals right now. So there is the teams who will be joining us on the first half of that 32 teams who qualified. And those are the teams that we're going to see in a bit, Callie. And I'm really excited on how this is going to turn up because we have top teams and also as what we mentioned earlier, legacy that has been built and legacy that will be made, Cali.
It's a matter of how will they create the impact inside that battlefield. And the last time we went into Garena Survivors, which is season 1, there's of course the old variables. Now here this time around at season 2, there's going to be a lot more variables that you have to consider, and we would love to talk about that Jackal that will be right there in that battlefield. And I think in isolated,
yeah.
that could be very, very useful.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Jackal has been used in finding out position of the team, as well as for those coming in from the revive flight, they can regroup with their teammates. Additional support as well, the damage that it can do for the team really brings in, but it's very difficult to master. I would know because I've died so many times riding that Jackal, and I'm pretty sure a lot of players out there has done the same. It's not that easy, but once you perfected that, I mean, it will be really good, an integral part of taking a win in these games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And now we are about to go into that battlefield, and it's all about preparation here at this gameplay. We're going into isolated, and it obviously what this map offers is a very spread out map location. So you can just pick out a settlement where you can just go up and get that loot, get your early game, grab those best guns that you have in that specific map location, and prepare for those mid-game pace where you obviously need to get your custom loadouts, so the airdrop. So at the end game, you're probably going to have more power compared to your opponents. But again, it's a matter of how prepared you are once you enter that battlefield, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's objective-wise, there are a lot of preparation that needs to be done. You either get the upgrade, the green crate, as well as the arsenals, the loadout, as Kali mentioned, and your position as well. Finding out where you will be positioned, especially as the safe zone or each phase of the safe zone closing. But I think we have talked about so much into the game, and we are now jumping in onto this flight. Coming in from the pier to Sakura as well as to Heat, the teams are now flying in, and I'm really curious as who or which team will be jumping in there. Oh, New Vision City will be occupied by the Faldrus, DVK Faldrus right now, and a lot of loots will be taken in their galley. But I'm really excited to see who will be dropping off on similar drop points in this game.
Obviously, there should be players dropping on the farms, but it's too much of a risk. You can't play so aggressive in your first game. So now it seems like we are going to see teams isolate themselves apart from one another. You see P1 on Downtown, J2 on Harbor, C1 on Black Market, and still no players actually going in at it when it comes to those early battles. As much as possible, they would want to prepare, but now it seems like we are going to see the teams now prepare, go into that battle, get those loot. Now we start the early game. This is where you obviously want to get the best loot in favor for your team. And, the New Vision City, the newly added map here, replacing Nooktown, going to be useful. A lot of loot in this vicinity.
Yeah, definitely, and a lot of loot. Really, it looks like small, but it's really big in terms of all the locations that you can get your loot. But a lot of challenges will be taken as well, especially these bots. I would say that you need to take out so you can take damage. But in early phase, what you can do is just give up a little bit of your armor to get even more for the team, and that's what they're doing right now, and they are preparing. This is a DVK Faldrus right now, who took advantage of New Vision City, and I love the look of this place. I mean, it's so futuristic compared to what we've seen on like we all know Nuketown. That was an OG an OG view. But now it has changed, and that is why it's called New Vision, because a new view of this city.
Yeah, very futuristic, as you can see, all painted in pink and blue. Everything is really vertical, so as much as it's this way, if you look at it this way, there's not going to be any players right beside them. And now it seems like Rivalry Esports, they are prepared very early here in Neptune. They already had their weapons, they already have their tacticals already equipped, and now they're moving in to search for new places, venture out and find some enemies. But one thing that these guys could do is absolutely get that upgrade on their specialties in their class.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it provides a lot more of advantage in this game when you use that upgrade, especially for those that, like, for instance, the Ninja, Trapmaster, even the Rewind class, even the Hacker. I mean, it gives you a lot of advantages. I didn't point out Smoke Bomber as well as the Defender, because yes, it will upgrade your class and it will give you a little bit of boost in using those class, but you can use it pretty much the same as it is, even without an upgrade. So that those are the class really that, upgrade or not, it's still so useful. Well, everything will be in there, but the damage that can be done by the other class that is upgraded will bring us more into battlefield. Oh, speaking of battlefield, a fight is going to ensue right now. It's rivalry going against this team of 13 and Mako Cutie. Right now, he's trying to take down the Diablo, the Devil, together with Kurama on that other side. But we'll see who will be able to take each other down on this fight. Kurama right now going in for a rush against Alien, and Alien will be digging down there. Kilo 141 has done his job, but the rewind class, I think, will save him. And Kurama will be taken down in there from the side by Yingzi. Now, Nezuko will be able to help out Kurama and pick him up. But where are the rest of the teams of 13? We are seeing one who will be triggered in trap. Oh, that was Alien, who's already knocked down, but the rest of the teams are still spread out, trying to figure out how to rush and pick up their teammates' dog tag, as well as to take down the enemy.
Yeah, it's too risky for you to take the gunfights initially when you are out in the middle. And now for Tressa, they are so good at it. And now MJ is looking to get the trades here. Removes one player, and Zuko officially out of the play, but he can still get revived once a player gets a dog tag. But obviously there's going to be some run that is going through, and the Diablo able to take player down. That's going to be Merc going out, and that's it. You know, engagements after engagements, you are clearly going to see the aerial assault made here by T.E.A.M. Obviously, that's all it takes for them to get this wins, and now we are going to see that circle dwindle down. It's going to get funneled down even more, and again, looking to get their players absolutely relocated, but again, to no avail. It's really hard once you get those players engaged in those harbor.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have a Phoenix right now, Team Dow, ENE Phoenix, who's joined the party, and as well as Meow from the VITAS. So this is what we're talking about. Once you're familiar using the Jackal, you can use it to advantage to get and find out the location of everyone. It's pretty much, you know, if you're an information gatherer for the team, then you'll be able to find out where everyone's positioned, and it will help out your team to be able to rotate. So Meow right now is doing a great job surviving for the least, still flying, and I'm really impressed about the teams and players who can use and like fly that Jackal with ease and without worrying of crashing.
And you know, COD Mobile always finds a way to keep the gameplay and experience fresh in every new season for both newcomers and veteran players. With that being said, you can now pilot the Jackal Fighter, and you did see it from Meow there. And it's equipped with missiles and automatic cannons, and obviously, it's a very good in order for your team to actually get more information, and that's what Meow's been doing for his team. But so far, we are going to see ENE going in for that rotation. They might want to go right beside wherever number 11 or of course their teammate that will be up on that aerial fight. But then again, there's still plenty of things to consider, and obviously Jackal fights. A lot of things happening in this game. You can see one crashing down already.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it has been let go. But I think Paul will be falling out as he is being chased by the team of ENE right now. This is a NICAEA that we're looking at. This is NICAEA Falcons will try to shoot down Paul in there, but Paul will be able to survive. And talk about Paul. I mean, this is a familiar name that we've seen so far, and I think Paul has joined a different team. This is, if I'm not mistaken, a team from VIVE Esports who have joined the team, a different team as well, and trying to prove themselves with their gameplay at this point. But one thing that we usually say when it comes to re-roster is, yes, you can take in a great player, but it still depends on how the chemistry will work. But I think the battle continues right now. We have Riley going against Vagabond Esports, and Riley Esports really has done a great job in maintaining this team composition. We have Watts, Yang, Caleb, and Rald right here, and I'm pretty sure they are going to bring in a lot in these games. But against Vagabond Esports, who we all know has been so solid so far into the game, I'm really hoping that they disengage and wait for it to the mid to late game.
Yeah, they have to really not engage here at all. You know, although they do have the Mountain, of course, to cover them and use that sniper to take down Vagabonds. It's too much of a risk for them to go out early. As much as possible, you would want to stay alive longer compared to your competitors because you would want to get the placement points. And not only that, you would want to also have the opportunity to get more kills. And of course, propel your team even more in that rankings. But so far, here in Isolated, the distribution of mountains and flatlands is perfect for long-range battles. And the snipers going to create that difference for each team right here and right now. So far for Riley, they're looking to disengage, which is very beneficial for them. You don't want to go up against Vagabond Esports this early. You don't want to lose the chance of missing out on the action later on as we approach the end game. We have 58 players still very much alive in this game. The safe zone is shrinking in 1 minute and his teams are going to act now. But so far, so good for Rivalry Esports. And then we take a look at SDPH. They have Dwayne, King, and of course, King already out. The dog tag needs to be picked up, but they're looking to disengage against the players right beside them. And this is not actually looking friendly for them at all as they are in need of rotation. You obviously know that the safe zone is going to shrink and they better act now here, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the way I'm looking at it for this team of SDPH, they are on the way against VITAS on their trajectory, as well as might be taken down in here from the ones from behind. It's ARMAMENT RODZINA who is chasing them. Now, the 2v4 situation will not be good for this team of SDPH, so they need to disengage, and thus Shy Cutie was able to utilize that smoke, but not so much because he will be shut down here by Nyx, and on the other side, there goes KKPG taking down Shy Cutie, and KKPG right now with that waiting game will now be able to take that kill. Second kill for the team. We'll have to find out how well SDPH will be able to survive as they only have one member to their team. For the team of ARMAMENT RODZINA, they're not too aggressive right here. They're just getting good position, but moving back to a different team. We have a Wanted Meow right now. This is VITAS that we're looking at, and they are trying to take down DVK at this point, but DVK has a high ground advantage, so I'll have to see what rotation will they take to go in for this fight.
And it seems like they're going in for the mountains, trying to go for that flank as well. And Wanted then is going to get that kills, man. That truly caught me off guard, but there's going to be push that will be about to come shove here, and Wanted now will seem to just dwindle now. They would not go for that engagement just yet. And DVK Faldrus, they're going to still have their own players, but O10 is still looking to go in for that mountain spot, getting that height advantage, that Terran advantage that they obviously need. And now for SDPH King, he needs to stay alive here. There is going to be 3 players from DVK that will be inside his vicinity, and it's going to be very tough once you get ganged up, and of course the information will get spotted. So now for him, has to play it safe, and for now he's doing a great job at it. But you never know when will DVK might pop off and get you. But for now, there's not going to be any engagements happening through inside his game. But for Wanted, they really are very smart. Wanted O10 really wanted to get that top floor spawn as well. But now we're going to see some engagements. Crossfire happening through. And it's going to be E1 and E3. It's going to be Wanted versus AR right across the map. And DVK, they know what's happening. They are looking to close it in. Look at the gap that they are pushing here right now. DVK about to go in. Yiza, they know that there's going to be players right in front of them, but still, they are waiting it out, waiting to be able to get a perfect timing for them to get all of these kills. And now for Yiza, he gets the kill against Kuzma, and that's it. They break down. Twice of Wanted, and that's DVK for you.
Yeah, DVK has just waited for the perfect moment to go in for the rush. When we thought that VITAS was able to gatekeep them on their heels, they just jumped in there and slowly spread out to make sure that they go for the pinch maneuver. But that might be the cause of their death right here, as GGT is now gunning them down. Abu right now with only half health, and there goes the ninja saving FD. Not the best moment, but we have Dinosaur right here with M4 LMG with that mag that you have. Imagine that's 100 bullets in your hands that you can utilize and take down the enemy with only one mag. But it's more of how they position as well as they move themselves toward this area. Yes, they have the high ground, but in 1 minute they might be taken out of here. Here comes Kiori right now, going in for the shot, but no, Shy Kiori has been shy in taking that damage, and I think VITAS will still be alive and kicking and still surviving this fight. Still, 16 teams remain. No one has been taken down just yet.
And of course, there's going to be players that will be going into that revival fight, but they will be lacking all of the guns. But then again, you still can go in and loot and fight all these players. And now we're going to see one more Jackal right in front of the game, and that's going to pass over a lot of players, and that means more information to whoever has that Jackal. But now DVK is going to get some kills once again, and Grim, being that scout, he knows where his team is located at, and now he knows where the players will be at. Now for this team, it's all about that timing. They have the high ground advantage, which is very useful in this gunfights. So long as they have the sniper to back them up, they are good to go. But for now, Vagabond blue on that kill feed takes Rivalry Esports Diablo, and now we're going to see kills after kills. But still, the case still stands. We got still 15 kills in this game. But now for SIGRA DZ here, Neptune, he knows there's a lot of players right across, and he's going to get that shots.
Yeah, I mean, with the sniper right now, you have good visibility as well as firepower to go and try take them down. But the distance will give you like the bullet drop that you need to adjust to be able to make those kills. But one thing that we talked about using the sniper is if you cannot follow up with a clean up by the rest of the teams, it will not be that useful. So it's more of distracting as well as damaging the enemy right here. But as we look, still we have DZ ADM, if I'm reading that correctly. That is DZ ADM going in for those shots and might utilize that later on. Now back to this team, Vagabond Esports. We have Nash, who has been taken down right now, and they have the high ground. They have this advantage, but I think they have been seen by SIGRA at this point. And with that like Arctic 50 that SIGRA has been using, it is very difficult for Vagabond Esports to really get away that easily. So what they need to do is still take the high ground, just get a better position, not to be shot from afar. But speaking of shots, we have a Bright right now taking shots against SIGRA, and SIGRA will be hit half health to his name, and one of their teammates, Assassin, will be taken down, and we'll have to see how well will they be able to finish this off as the battle continues. A lot of teams still fighting in this area, and we're only in our fourth phase.
Yeah, fourth phase. Still, anything is possible in this game, but you really have to talk about those AK-47s. That's rarely valuable when it comes to those mid to long range. Those ARs going to give you a lot of troubles if you can connect everything in against your opponent. So far, it's been so good for SIGRA. They still have their team intact, but for SDPH Dwayne, he needs to stay alive because right now he's on a pinch play. NRX XIII Mwezi gets that kill, and now with SDPH Dwayne out, that's going to be one more team less to worry about. But then again, we are seeing AR Cookie on that kill feed take the ball out of the picture, and now we're going to see those specialists and classes absolutely deployed in the game as well. But one thing for NRX XIII, they really have that height advantage that we are definitely looking to look about and talk about, because so long as you have that height advantage, you can clearly defeat players that is on that low ground. So far, it's been so good. 3 players now spotted up front, and now NEHEMIAH needs to relay that information down to NRX teammates, because if not, they're going to get flanked here. And this is where things gets more interesting as we see that circle gets a little bit more anything will be all chaos.
Yeah, definitely chaos will ensue in a bit, because we're getting in closer to the end of these phases of the safe zone. The closer they get to each other, the more engagement we're going to see. And speaking of engagement, Caleb taking down Resi in there as he pulls out that armor. He will not be able to survive, and we are now left with 2 members from NRX XIII. SIGRA, on the other hand, are still with 3 members and will try to go in for damage, but the Rewind class will just save their prey. And Potting right now will try to reposition using that Rewind class, and there goes ADM for the kill against the Knicks, and a lot of engagement happening, but still 7 kills to their name. SIGRA, it really is on fire. Unfortunate for them, they have a loss of Bright at this game, and with the damage being taken by the safe zone, it is not looking good for them. Pouring needs to run and run fast.
And there you go, Pouring managed to get out alive, but AR, they're gatekeeping that circle, and they take SIGRA down really great. So now for AR, they have managed to go in at the edge. Can they do more damage? So far for AR, they still are on the mountains, and they will spot Vagabonds right across. But then again, the circle gets a little bit more closer. But look at Yato right now. Look at that nade. Takes down Win and Zed. That's very unfortunate. Now you're going to see the sniper in action. Blue now will be able to knock down Yang on that long range. That M21, very useful in this long range battles. And Vagabonds, they are known to have a very slow first early game. But here, this time around in that mid game and in the late game is where they take in the initiative and get all of the kills that they need. They have so far, they have all their players lined up perfectly. They are still 4. They are complete. And that's what you would want as we go down to the final battles. 13 players left in this matchup. What could go wrong for these teams? I don't know. Let's come and find out.
Yeah, I mean, 4 teams remain and 13 players. Anything that can go wrong at this point, but Vagabond Esports is doing everything right. They have their sights on Rivalry Esports. What's in there? Being damaged. No, it was Caleb who just moved into the sides of Luki. And this is the double sniper that we love to see from Vagabond Esports. They're taking advantage of distance they have, not really getting close and not being taken down easy. Now, they are also using their nature to cover them with this rock as well as the trees right now, as well the elevation that they have. But Blue and Nash going in for the kill against DVK. 2 team remain, and here comes the push. SIGRA is the only one remaining, but with 4 members in here going in for the rush, there's no surviving as they are now in a chase, but they will be denied probably of that 1 point, but still Vagabond Esports proving to us that they are here to bring it on, taking the win on this round number 1.
The sniper was the de facto for Vagabonds. Blue with that M21 EBR and that long range battle was really able to tag down countless of players, and with him out there in the field and with him raining down chaos with his sniper, it really makes the other team create more mistakes as they get the panic because they know Blue is out there to get them. And with him there as well, it makes things a little bit more better for Vagabonds, but because not only does he get those kills, but he can also relay the information where Nash and of course everyone can just go at it and go for those pushes as well. Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the snipers, the double snipers that you're utilizing, they are really getting those information. And they've been doing that for the early phase of the game. We saw them earlier almost going in for the fight against Rivalry Esports, but the disengagement of Rivalry Esports, well, I wouldn't say it's smart for them to not really engage that team. But if in case they are capable of doing some damage against Vagabond Esports, they can do so. Early game is not really the strong point of Vagabond Esports, and if they can be damaged and taken out that early, then loses the chance to take the championship in this competition.
I mean, the keys to victory for Vagabonds on that first game, stay alive for the first 15 minutes. Be complete at that end game. You really have to make it sure, they have 4 players lined up at the end, and that's where they pop off. I mean, first it was Blue, then the next thing the frontliners, the attackers just went and going aggressive, and they were just able to take every player down. And now we take a look at the game result. Yato with his nades earlier was really able to take down 2 players and add in Blue's 4 kills, Luki with 3, Nash with 2. This team is just on point. They take that first round. But one thing that really surprised me the most here, was Neptune is DVK. This team, they were number 8 in their respective group, but here this time around, they got the kills to back them up. They also get the placement points to help them. And I think this team going to be the dark horse for this round and for this group.
Yeah, DVK has got more kills compared to Vagabond Esports. Just unfortunate for them, they were able to make that a top 2 spot. They were on the 4th spot, but still, with the points that they have, it gives them a good chance to really move up onto that leaderboards. Looking at the rest of the teams, you have Rival in here, don't 4 points in total on 7th place. SIGRA as well with, actually SIGRA has been aggressive from the early point. It just so happened that they have been gate-kept in there from the longest time as they approach the safe zone. And Pouring was the last remaining member of that team. But still, imagine 7 points or 7 kills to their name. NRX XIII, I think they just warming up. NRX XIII, we know the brand already. We know the team. These are players, our team that is mostly aggressive, but with the new composition that we're seeing, Wezi, Sol, Wise, and Enyao, I'm looking forward to what they can offer in this game.
Oh, obviously. And, since this is going to be the first game, everything can still be turned around. You got 6th round. Of course, first game officially out, you still got 5. And you just gotta worry about every after match. You just gotta do better every time you go inside the battlefield. But for 420, Blink, Pabi, Zeus, Demon, you're not really able to have a great start. Everyone died with no kills, and they placed 5th, meaning to say they still have 0 points in that leaderboard and in that ranking as well. But for VTL, it's Shy, CL, and Paul getting only 1 kill. And with that being said, for NRX 420, they gotta make sure they bounce back on the 2nd round, and until we reach that 6 rounds that we currently have in this stage. And obviously now we look at the replay of the 1st round. You see the early engagement made here by Rival. Then we take a look at the other side of things. SIGRA, they were so aggressive as we've previously mentioned, but they were gate-kept so much that they had so little time for them to rotate, and it was just over when they move inside that circle.
Yeah, definitely. And this is where Vagabond Esports really started popping off. They don't have that much of a high ground, but they utilize the position that they have taken this hill as a cover as well as a rock to get all those kills from the sniper. If I'm not mistaken, there are 3 snipers or probably just 2, but knowing that Loki as well as Blue in there with those snipers, and as you mentioned earlier, the nade shot that has been done by Yato really brings in a lot of kills for them. And from like we keep saying, from mid game to late game, that is where Vagabond Esports is really popping off, trying to survive, and a lot of teams are close by and they can get better position. If you think about it, you can get good visuals if the safe zone is very, very small to the point that it's on a 4th phase, and once you get their position, you can plan your approach. And I think that is where Vagabond Esports are really doing well in these games.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, Neptune, Vagabond Esports, they take number 1. They are the winner. They are the last team standing on this round number 1 of Battle Royale isolated first-person perspective. And honestly, for me, they have the dual sniper setup and obviously the attention to details. They use tacticals and the lethal utilities in their favor. You see Yato with that grenade, really able to create the push, create chaos against their opponent. Then they push out the player's cover, and then there they go in for the hunt. And those tactical utilities, that smoke, they use it to perfection. Why? Because they use it to close down that distance. They use it to cover their teammates when they are trying to heal, when they are trying to just slow it down a little bit. And that's the reason why they are able to win this first match. Curious to see what they could do as we move in to the coming rounds here at Garena Survivors Season 2.
Yeah, definitely. And that was just round number 1. Yes, there are some teams really that didn't pop off at this point, but I think this is a good start for Vagabond Esports to really show that they are the kings and no one can take them down easily, as they take a lot of kills as well as a lot of placement point in that number 1 spot. But it's still too early to say. Some of the teams really might be just warming up, as I mentioned, but hopefully they don't take that long. Speaking of taking that long, for those of you who aren't here, who has been long watching this show, hopefully you can like and share, and we can give you the time to take advantage of that, because we are going in for a quick break. So Callie and me will be back in a bit. See ya.
ニュービジョンシティでの重要任務に関する通達を受け取った。行くわよ。
うわ、楽しみ。
ドイツ語ポストヒューマンなのか。トゲさん、
何やってんだ。
スイッチブレード起動しました。これでも食らえ。注意、移動中です。遅い。そうささやくのよ、私のゴーストも。
立ちこま、援護しろ。その調子だ、立ちこま。お前はよくやってるよ。
でしょ。バトルさんは分かってるな。
本当のことだ。
アーバントラッカー会いたかったよ。
ニュービジョンシティでの重要任務に関する通達を受け取った。行くわよ。
うわ、楽しみ。
Welcome back to the Garena Survivors Season 2 Legacy. And we just completed round number 1 of 6 rounds for today. We are still your caster and host for today. I am Namchin the Gemmer Garcia. Together with me is no other than Cali Gaming, who's going to bring you the action right here. And speaking of action, we are talking in the background about the action. And what can you say about the action that we've seen so far in that round number 1, Cali?
Yeah, first and foremost, this is my first time casting an official Battle Royale ever in my life. So there's a lot of rotations that I saw. There's a lot of things that you really have to consider. And obviously, the team that absolutely lasts the most is the teams that really make sure they have a slow pace early game. And they use their tacticals and their lethals perfectly for them to flee and, of course, to push out their opponents. But one thing that I really love so far for both ends is the way the teams utilizes that sniper in the action, because they obviously get the information with that sniper. Not only that, you also have the jackal in action. We did see it earlier. We had 2 players going at it in the aerial assault, and obviously things just suddenly turned for worse. And for this game, obviously, we have the overall rankings now, Neptune. And back to the game we go. Vagabond Esports. They are the champions indeed. They take this first game, the first round. They win one already. They got 10 placement points with 13 kill points, total of 23. But these guys are guaranteed to get more than that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is just a start for Vagabonds Esports, and they are starting hot in this game. Imagine 13 kills to their name just in this first round, and I'm still looking for the scores that might be brought in by DVK Faldrus. I think they have 14 kills. So for those of you in here, we pointed out earlier from the post-game breakdown, and I think that will be updated. But if you look at it, we have ENE Phoenix, Team DAO, ENE Phoenix in their second place with 9 kill points, as well as a 6 placement point with a total of 15. Not that near compared to Vagabonds Esports, so a lot of catching up needs to be done, even for the sides of Rivalry Esports right now with only 13, and ARMAMENT RODZINA. I really love how they popped off in here. 9 kills to their name, not so much in the placement, but the kills itself really brings in a lot for this team, Callie.
Oh yeah, and of course for DVK Faldrus, they did have a lot more kills compared to Vagabonds Esports earlier, but I think this rankings would be updated later on after we end this second round. But the team that we really need to look out forward to the most is NRX 420. The team plays really bad in that first round, and they do need to find a way to make up and bounce back into this matchup, because they don't have kills at all in the first round. And they did place in the 14th to 16th place, which means they only have 0 points. They will not get any points at all, and they really need to work it on further. And now, as we close into the second round of this isolated first-person perspective matchup, Neptune, who do you think will win this second round?
Oh, I mean, based on the performance of Vagabonds Esports, if they really want to, they might take that win. But so far, we've seen some of the gameplay that they have. It's not the usual Vagabonds Esports gameplay that we've seen. They do take the high ground, but at that point in the final moment, they didn't take the highest ground. It's, I would say, mid-level in terms of height, but they did a lot of damage. The position that they have in their, positioning really is one of the key factor that Vagabonds Esports has placed in their objective list. Apart from upgrades as well as airdrops, the position into this map is one thing that Vagabonds Esports are prioritizing. And here we go. Ooh. We are now flying in. It's a little bit going in towards the north, so the snowy area, and snowboards can be captured as well. And there's also 3 choppers in play, as well as 1 jackal. So who will be utilizing those vehicles, we'll have to find out as we drop in this round number 2 of Garena Survivors II semifinals.
So now we are going to see the players going in at it. They have made their decision. And of course, Frigid Wetland, that is where Team DAO ENE Phoenix will go. That's going to be a positive player drop spot. It is a good tier. It's a good tier loot area, but then again, you really need to rotate to Sanitarium where you can get most of the kills there, and of course, most of the loots as well. But now we will see the boys of GGT Esports in here at that launch base where they're going to gather up their early game stage. The sniper is going to be very, very useful here in these first situations, especially when you go into the end game. But so far, it's been so good. No kills dropped just yet, and teams are still looting. And, as soon as we go to the second circle, that's where we might see more of the actions.
Yeah, definitely. If I'm not mistaken, there's only 2 teams who have placed close to each other, and knowing these teams, they will not stay that close for long. They will get the loots they need, probably peel off the early as they can, and with them switching in on the FPP mode, it's really not aggressive from the start of this game compared to what we've seen so far from the previous season on the TPP, and that is what we're loving in here. Not a lot of teams are too bold to go in for the fight, they really need to be tactical before jumping in for the battle. But speaking of tactical, not quite sure what the tactic of Rivalry Esports right now is here. They have been spread out, and I think they are just getting their way away from that team that they jump in together. And I think Yang and Caleb are on their way to go into a different area just to make sure that they get all the loots that they need. Because as we are looking at the places that they have, or the mods that they don't have that much. So I think they have been cut short in getting the attachment that they need in the fight.
It's a very wise choice for them to actually do that, back away from wherever teams will be likely positioned at. And you going the opposite way of the drop of the airplane earlier gives you more chance to go in places where it is not looted just yet. So far, it's going to be so good for Riley. Love the transition that they're doing. And now for DVK, they're just going to be in the New Vision City. This is going to be the second time they did drop here. And you obviously know, once they go to New Vision City, they go to the docks. And earlier, we did see them go to standoff, then move into that bus station. And eventually, they were able to last at the late stage of the game, where I think, the New Vision City, with all of the loots that you can get here, I think it's the best way for you to last in that end game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we all know that there's a lot of loots in here, and your choice of gun will be beneficial to the number of kills that you can get. And that is one reason why DVK got a lot of kills from that previous round. And I think they will maintain this. And this is a good thing to point out, really. Who will be challenging them on New Vision City if they're bold enough to go against DVK? But speaking of going against, we are seeing NRX XIII right now, NEHEMIAH, or Wayne, who is being pushed in by AXP. And I'm quite mind blown why NRX XIII NEHEMIAH is going solo as Viper kills him with that M4. And where are the rest of the teams? Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. The chopper gameplay and probably a jump, but 4 members will be waiting for you. And Wise right now, a quick glide, trying to take that dog tag, but I don't think they got it. I think he moved in a different play, but Wise right now is on the move way far from this area to make sure that they can get that scan. But here comes the sync. Noticing from him. Oh, I spoke too soon. He had that zip line and will let NRX XIII get away with it, chopper, and I think with a dog tag.
I really love the way this thing tried to chase them with the car, classic movie action right there. A car chase straight to that helicopter, but did love the bold move from him because he was able to create pressure for NRX. And now it looks like we're going to see NRX XIII move in to another location where they will have letter I and 3 very, very close here right now. And if they do have the opportunity to spot and get that information, they might be able to get that swift kill as well and get that loot that the team actually had so far. No kills made just yet, but soon enough we might see it. The dog tag hasn't yet been picked, so right now they're trying to wait it out, go in, get some loot very close to vicinity. And I think Wise right here, if he gets to that second floor, I think we might see some engagements. But I do think whoever's camping right there in the corner could get the kill. And now here we go. 1v1, close quarter combat, nicked. Perfect timing. Wise gets taken down. Here it is. Beautiful play. I mean, patience is virtue, but Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Wise not very wise at that point. I know that once you hear a chopper coming in, and that's where NRX XIII just jumped in here, you will be staying. You will not be making a move, and that is what Nyx has done. And it's a good play for them. But this time we have Wayne who will be coming back, and I think they got the dog tag earlier. We just saw that they didn't, or it looks like that they didn't. But Wayne or NEHEMIAH will be coming back in here. Unfortunate for NRX XIII, they've already lost 2 of their members, Mwezi and Wise. Now it's up to Soul to survive and wait for NEHEMIAH to come back and probably get more of the dog tags. But looking at Mirror right now, they are just gatekeeping those dog tags. They don't want them to get them, as well as they can take advantage of that to go for the kill. But Soul right now is here already moving in onto the dog tag of Wise, and this is one coming back from NRX XIII. Now we are now looking at ENE Phoenix with Mark going in for the drive and not making that work inside this farm. They will not be able to push that quickly against these teams of, I think it's Vagabond Esports. One member of Vagabond Esports is just waiting and just getting information. And here is Merc, like, just going in for the fire, making sure that they will not be challenged and letting the other players know that they are first to the drop.
Now, this is the start of the mid-game period. You know, you got further to get those airdrops, get those custom loadouts, and for Merc, already got that M21 EVR now in his favor. Now, as obviously you would want to do here on this mid-game, get the best possible guns that you will have, and of course, get some kills to get your team on going, get that momentum sorted out early before you move into that end game where you have to close in and fight in that close-range engagement. So far, so good for Vagabond's Nash as he takes down Diablo. Beautiful drop shot, but there's going to be more actions up ahead, line up for them later on as they do have taken care of one player already. Nash will be able to get himself more of a health here this time around, and I mean, eliminations are now starting to kick in for Vagabonds.
Yeah, Vagabonds is going in for those kills early in this game. It's just a second phase, and SDPH Flux with that M21 EBR shot, and the rush is on. One member has been taken down, and it's up to them to go and clean this up. Kimish will be in there from the high ground, but Flux has made a move and got those dog tags that quickly, and I think they might try to go for another one, and they did, but Flux right now just going for the distraction, and switching over to a sniper in a close range. Not quite wise, and there goes Viper for the kill against Flux. There's only one member for SDPH remaining, and there goes a Viper going for the kill, the elimination of SDPH that quickly in this game.
You know, I get what the guy is doing. You know, I get the ideation. You would want to bring your team life back into the match, but when you have close range quarter combats and you are currently in a crossfire, you better make sure you help your teammate first, and that we didn't see from them, and that's why they get taken care of. And now for 13, Yingzi going to be very close against AXP. They could get this landing blow as they go down. We might see this push coming through. Mako right off to the house. They go to the roofs, and Viper, only player alive against 3 players very close to vicinity. I mean, for Viper, needs to be very patient, has to stay alive. For 13, they have already get their custom loadouts coming through as well as they do get that green airdrop. So we got a safe zone that will shrink after 30 seconds, and teams better act fast now. Viper, he knows that he is clearly outmanned, needs to back away, make sure his team will be able to get that 4-man squad once again as we do see that revival flight come through in 15 seconds. Still plenty of time for them, but you know, love the tactical abilities that Viper is going in at it. As much as possible, you would want to create chaos, and of course, you want to cover down and flee away from this situation. But it seems like AXP, they don't want to get in, no, they don't want to back away. They want to go for the push here, Neptune. I think this is quite risky.
Yeah, I mean, it's very risky for them, knowing that there are only two members to their team, and they are still challenging those members. But AXP, Viper, as well as Kimish right now, I think it's a bait gameplay and trying to bait them onto that trap. But what getaway can they do at this point? 2 of their members will be coming back, Sync and Mizuki Cutie. So what damage can they do against these teams of ENE Phoenix? Well, I think it's more of a bait for just to make sure that the rest of the teams will be able to get their airdrop or the loots that they have from their previous position. But MJ with that snowboard as well as M4 LMG will try to put some damage against Viper, and Viper is just rotating and will be moving away. Now MJ needs to regroup with the rest of the teams, probably cut short the position and the movement of Kimish at this point, and the rest of the team of AXP Eternals are now spread out. Still, ENE Phoenix, good enough for them. They stayed in their position because they also have a few or an arsenal drop near them for them to utilize all the loadout that they can pull out.
Oh yeah, and SIGRA, you know, he already said M4 as well. Very good on that mid-range. But, you know, looking at the leaderboard right now, Vagabond Esports, 23 points.
Yeah.
ENE Phoenix got 15, and of course, Rivalry Esports will stay in that top 3. He have 13 kills with ARMAMENT very, very close with 12. And this leaderboard round so far, as we do see, there's not going to be any action yet. So let's continue. SIGRA KRONOS with 7, Rivalry Esports with 5, Faldrus with 4, MAGNUS with 3, FALCONS with 2, NEHEMIAH XIII with 2. That will be your top 10 right now in this game on that first round. But of course, that's guaranteed to change as we do see and as we move in here at this second round. And of course, it's currently ongoing. The circle is trying to get caught on guard, and E Bear is going to be here. He knows that there's going to be players in SIGRA. What they did earlier is got taken down as they got crossed in out on that circle. Here this time around, they will have the prime position. They are on the top floor, which means they will have far better terrain advantage, and they could get this advantage. But then again, looking at the far end of things, Rivalry Esports on the other hand, they also have that height advantage. I mean, you get the height advantage, you obviously would have more opportunities. You can get your snipers involved. And here we go. Circle getting more closer.
Yeah, getting closer on the third phase already, moving into the fourth. But we're only seeing, if I'm not mistaken, it's only Yang in here on the sniper with that M21 EBR, as well as the Jag-12 to bring in a lot of engagement on the close quarter battles. Now, Bright right now is in here, was able to survive, but only a half health. And here comes Zed right now, who's also getting some visuals because of the gunshot that we've heard from the other side. But I think it's a good reposition for the side of Rivalry Esports to be able to get away from this sides of ENE. This is NICAEA Falcons that we're looking at right here, and still 4-man strong and have the high ground, the usual tactic that we see on FPP mode.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know, with FPP, you get limited peripheral vision compared to that third-person perspective, which means you have to play even more tactically. And not only that, you can now obviously use those tacticals to help and make sure that you can flee. But Hillian, good read. He spots a player, goes in for the spam, but he's not going to get the kill. But information already in now for 13. Now, all they just got to do is make the decision. Are you wanting to push, or do you want to just keep intact the position that you currently have in here right now? 12 seconds before that revival flight. And we still have 50 players currently alive in this game. Safe zone will shrink in 10 seconds as well. And now teams are starting to act fast. But for ENE, still waiting for the perfect opportunity for them to get that move. So far for DVK, they are going to be at that mansion. And they are staying intact. And that, I think, would be their detrimental assault because, of course, once you are spotted, you're going to get flagged down and you're going to get taken care of. And now look at this. XIII gonna have that sniper as well. We are seeing some action here right now. Smoke's covering down to go for that flee and go for that cover as well. Here we go. XIII leading the charge for GGT.
Yeah, GGT right now has taken the wings of NICAEA right here at this point. And they have the high ground earlier. Unfortunately for NICAEA, they lost their momentum in this game. And the Falcons are lost in flight and using that snowboard to get away. Bear right now is so far away from this area and now getting close to the rest of the team. We are now heading on the fourth phase and good positioning for GGT. And hopefully they can utilize that to their advantage. Still, Cali, 15 teams remain, and it's only we're still on the third phase of the safe zone. The closer it gets, a lot of damage can be taken, and I'm really looking forward to the time we're in. We are heading to the fourth phase, and there's only a few teams, but it will not be happening here because a lot of teams are aiming for survivability. But the gatekeep is now starting. Riley Yang for the kill against Kuzma in there, and the vehicle gameplay will not work for them. And Rivalry Esports is moving in for the rush, positioning themselves to the eye just to get a good view of the enemy.
Yeah, they are really great giving, very, very huge here. As you can see, they are racking up the kills that they need. And not only that, they are very close to more opponents that will be right outside that safe zone. And I think for Caleb, is going to get more type of loot here, right beside this safe zone. So far, so good for them. But you know, for AR, they are still intact. They have 4 players. Same goes for Riley. Now for the watch, is going to be the first player. Is going to push out, and Yang able to get that tag, but he's not going to stay alive. But he's going to not get that kill just yet. In fact, we are seeing Cookie now under pressure. Assassin and Super going at him with that tactical abilities. Now, good for him. He has that ninja. He can back away. That's going to be more than enough for him. But still, he is far away from his team. And now for AR, looking at the far end of things, they only have 2 players alive here. And they got to play more passively.
Yeah, they need to play more passively right now because a lot at stake. But SIGRA right now is taking some damage from afar. And SIGRA just in time, almost losing a whole of his health right now. Good thing that they have that terrain advantage to cover their fronts. But they are relocating as well. So this team of Team Down ENE Phoenix right now will need to go on the lower ground. But the high ground has been taken by Rivalry Esports. Caleb in there for the kill with the Jack. But Yang still doing some damage with its sniper, and Yang right now just positioning as well as getting information just to make sure that their teams will not be backstabbed that easily at this point. Watts on the other hand getting the kill against Shy Cutie, and they will be moving in because the safe zone will be closing as well. And from behind them, Rivalry Esports might get the surprise hit against Rivalry Esports. But the battle continues, and ENE, here comes MJ as well as SIGRA going in for the kill. 9 teams remain, 28 soldiers surviving.
And now you're on the end game, you now have to face off against the enemy that you fought earlier in that round number 1. So now as we go closer and closer towards that end goal, so far it's been so good for ENE. They have made sure that they get the kills to back them up as well, but they gotta make sure they sustain until the very end. Right now you only have 9 teams remaining, and now push comes to shove. Merc going in for that wall spray is going to take the corner down, but there it is. Assassin able to pick that kill up with that sniper as well. The dual snipe setup for ENE working wonders for them so far on this one. A lot of battles comes true. Here we go. The battle, close range engagement. This is where the AK-47 shines the most, and SIGRA able to tag a bit more than that. Now a lot of chaos brings into this game. Everybody's just fighting for their life. They want to survive, and for ENE, holding one map down, holding their territory is the way to go as they look to win this battle.
Vagabond Esports has now jumped in 6 kills to their name already, and they have still the high ground despite of how flat this area is. There goes Nash for the kills against Knaves, and Rivalry Esports are slowly moving, losing their members. Now, Blue right now going for the backstab against Kurama, and it's a good thing Kurama was able to jump out of play, but knowing Blue, we will get that information and relay it for the rest of the teams. Now we have VITAS as well into the church, probably praying not to be taken down that easily, but knowing this team of VITAS, they will not go down with the fight. Blue right now still getting information. Distance is the key for the gameplay of Vagabond Esports, and they are just making a killing, and Blue takes down Meow, and there's no purring for that cat right here as they continue on. Nash is still in a fight, and Izuku will be taken down.
Well, it seems like the players that's not Vagabonds are just sent out to play and run around the map. They're so busy winning their gunfights, meanwhile Vagabonds is going in for the backstab as well, keeping their distance, and now they are in for the hunt. MJ gets taken down, Blue with the shot, and Vagabonds, only one player to worry about. They spot Luki in Blue now. They get the kill. Oten down, and it's another win for Vagabonds.
Oh my goodness. And when we thought that Vagabond Esports might be sleeping all throughout, well, Nash is just wishing everyone else to sleep well. And Vagabond Esports still taking that round with a bang. Distance really is key for this team, and Vagabond Esports will not get that distance closer towards the rest of the teams, because with the 2 wins that they have, even in the leaderboards, they will be far to reach.
And they're very far to reach. They get the placement points, which is 10 points already. Then you have Nash with 4, Blue with 4, Luki with 4, and that already is 12. Add in Yato's 2 kills. This guy's got 14, and 24 points for Vagabonds overall in this second round. They are clearly efficient, and you're starting to see the pattern here. Vagabonds, they are very silent when it comes to that early to mid-game situations. At the end game is where they really strike the most, and you really have to admire the way they put their strategies in line. Because here this time around, they know that the circle is going to be right around the houses, which is going to involve more of the close-range engagements. And obviously for Vagabonds, they really love to play the snipers. And what they did is get the hill. Get that top situation. They get the terrain advantage that they need. They just pick apart the players, being that third party in the engagements, and it just managed to work here against all the players that was left on that houses that was left on the circle at that final circle.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Vagabond Esports, like they are low key from the start of the game until the mid game, or wherein everyone is in sniper range, sniper visual range, and that is where the dual sniper, probably triple sniper if needed, is really popping off. Thus, Nash. Blue, Luki in here, 4 kills each. Yato in there, only 2, but I can't blame him because a lot of kills has been done by the rest of the teams, and it's more of a support that can be done by everyone. It's not everyone who can get a lot of kills. One can give out information as well as go for the rush at some point. I'm still looking forward to the time where in some of the teams will try to catch up. But as we look at here on spot number 3, we have a total of 15 kills right now. If I'm not mistaken, this is the highest kill, the second highest kill that we've seen so far, apart from the what we've seen earlier. So I will still have to check because there are still some adjustment questions about the points gathered earlier. Unfortunate for NRX 420, they only have 2 kills, Blink and Demonio. And for their point position into this game with that church, they have been blocked off of all the exit, the smoke preventing them to get away. And imagine a smoke bomber trying to shoot you down with a sniper and you're inside of the smoke. That has been the fall of NRX 420 in this game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And as they are looking to revive their teammate Assassin, which is, I remember it clearly and dearly because it was Sucre that was going in for that pressure with that sniper. Then Assassin came in with a delivering blow, and NRX was stuck in that middle. They were pinched and they were taken down. But hey, the placement finish is better compared to what they had earlier. From 16, or I believe it's 13, from 7, it's a huge jump. And so far, it's going to be so good for them. It's a better round compared to that first round that they have, but they still need to do better as we move into that third round here at this Garena Survivor Season 2 Day 1. But for DVK, had a great start earlier, that round number 1, had a great placement. They also got the kills to back them up. But here this time around, they were placed 15th. And inconsistency is not going to get you nowhere. They got to bounce back as they move into that third round.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, consistency is one of the key. There's a lot of keys really when it comes to Battle Royale because like we know how dynamic the game is. And as we were talking at some point, like a lot of info can be gathered in here. And this is one thing that needs to be done by the VK. Yes, they have a lot of loot starting off, but they fail to transition over as they go in onto the next phase of their objective. But one thing I would say, guys, for those of you wondering why are we looking at some of the weapons as well as the skins with, well, actually no skins, just the default skins. It's because that is part of the competition, just to make sure that it is fair for everyone. Everyone just looks alike. They are using the default skin on their bodies, default skin on their weapons and utilities. This is just to give everyone a fair game. And entertainment-wise, yes, the skins are putting in a lot of entertainment, but with the gameplay that has been shown by the team, that is a lot more of entertainment that we can get from this team. So hopefully that answers questions, especially on the comment section. I've been reading that. So also, let's make it a little bit cleaner and less toxic. If not toxic, less toxic, so that everyone can be motivated as well as encouraged to watch and join us in Garena Call of Duty Mobile Battle Royale.
And obviously, when you have the same type of gun, same type of hitbox in your character, this basically gives you the opportunity to play more with less excuse. I mean, obviously, everyone is the same now. So
yeah,
you have no information, or actually, you have the same. It makes basically what I'm trying to say. It makes things more competitive and more challenging for these teams. But hey, it's another round for Vagabond Esports. They take round 2, another win in their bag. I mean, they really have the strats to back them up. They also have that gunfight snapshot, and I think with them here right now, they are the biggest threat in this group.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even for the whole competition, we have hyped them already. Vagabond Esports. Imagine for 8 major tournaments, they have emerged as a champion, and this is no different. Unless a team will really pop off and take them down. But as we talk about semifinals, it's only 8 teams or top 8 that they need to get to be able to move into the finals. So there's not much of pressure, but Vagabond Esports really putting a lot of pressure for the teams who wants to try to overtake and show up in here, getting a lot more points compared to Vagabond Esports. But no, Vagabond Esports will not let that go easily.
Oh yeah, and obviously for this team, they did a lot of wonders in the Garena Survivors Season 1. But on the qualifier leaderboard, Vagabond Esports, they placed number 1 in their qualifying bracket with 193 points, 150 kills. That's how dominant this team is, and you're going to see more action from them later on. We're going to be right back for round number 3.
ニュービジョンシティでの重要任務に関する通達を受け取った。行くわよ。
楽しみ。
行くわよ。手を貸せ。
あれは何なんだ。
こいつもポストヒューマンなのか。トゲさん。
何やってんだ。
スイッチブレード起動しました。これでも食らえ。注意、移動中です。遅い。そうささやくのよ、私のゴーストも。
立ちこま、援護しろ。 調子だ立駒。お前はよくやってるよ。
でしょ。バトルさんは分かってるな。
本当のことだ。
アーバントラッカー会いたかったよ。
ニュービジョンシティでの重要任務に関する通達を受け取った。行くわよ。
うわ、楽しみ。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, and this is still Garena Survivors Season 2 Legacy Semifinals Day number 1. And so far, 2 rounds has been completed, and with those 2 rounds, Vagabond Esports has maintained their number 1 spot. We are your casters and hosts for tonight. I am Neptune, the Gem Garcia, and together with me is Cali Gaming. And Cali, what do you think about this game so far? We're in Vagabond Esports is just showing that they're unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, Vagabond Esports, the late game is just strong for them. You know, they are inevitable. The moment that you see them having 4 players at that late game, you know that they're guaranteed to have more advantage against you. So right now, they currently placed number 1. But the team that actually is behind them is Team DAO, you know, ENE Phoenix, who actually had a very rough start in the first game, but they make up for the second round, you know, having more kills compared to Vagabond Esports with 15, while Vagabond Esports got 14. But hey, now we are looking in at the leaderboard, and this is where everything is really decided. As much as possible, as a team, you would want to place in the top 8 for you to advance to the finals, and from there on forward, you can go work your wonders. But so far, it has been the Vagabond Esports show.
Yeah, definitely. And I really love what adjustment has been done by Team Dow ENE Phoenix. And the aggressiveness that they place in there onto the farm really brought in a lot of kills for them. And I think they are the team as well who targeted a lot more within the compound compared to those who are outside. But we're going to see much of those leaderboard in a bit. But I'm really, really happy on how this is turning up. Vagabonds Esports still in the first place because of the multiple wins that they have from the first 2 rounds. How much more can they put into? That is the question. And here we go. We have the leaderboard right now. 47 points in total for Vagabonds Esports. And as we are saying earlier, Team Dow ENE Phoenix with 35 points. Imagine 24 on the kills, only 3 kills behind Vagabonds Esports. The aggressiveness of this team, and when it comes to the placement point, they're not really surviving longer into the game because of the less placement point. But with the kills, I think they can overtake Vagabonds Esports if they can work on survivability at this point.
Oh yeah, absolutely right. You know, Neptune, ENE Phoenix, they now have their engines rolling. And now it's just a matter of steamrolling it all throughout the maps that we are going to play. But moving into this round number 3, this is going to be the final isolated map that we are going to play. Right after that, we're going to play Blackout, which is going to be more fast-paced. But looking at the top 8 so far, it's been Vagabond Esports, DAO, ENE Phoenix, Rivalry Esports, ARMAMENT, RODZINA Esports, Rivalry Esports, DAO, VITAS, AXP Eternals, and T.E.A.M MAGNUS. These teams are doing an incredible job so far, keeping their team at bay in that leaderboard. But, you know, the fight for that 8th spot, very, very close. You have MAGNUS, KRONOS, GGT Esports, NICAEA FALCONS, actually very close for that total point battle for that top 8 so far for day 1. But then again, it's really all about these comebacks that we did not see just yet for NRX Philippians 420. They are really having a rough time. They need to get their acts together here this round number 3 for them to finally get some points and, of course, get their team ongoing here at semifinals 1, day 1.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure the fans out there are requesting or asking NRX 420 to really move up on the leaderboards. But like as you mentioned earlier, Callie, it's not that much from the top eight. If you want to catch up, imagine from the fifth to I would say to the 10th place right now, it's not that difficult
Oh
to catch
yeah.
up on the points. So like if they pop off with one game, getting say 10 to 12 kills later on with a good placement point, then NRX 420 might be in there taking the top 8 spot. But as we talk about that, round number 3 continues, and this is still isolated. This is the last isolated map for today, and hopefully the teams who are so familiar in this map will be able to take advantage of their knowledge and utilize that to get the points, placement, and kills all together.
And the flight right now currently going towards the mid map. So we might see players dropping into farms and of course lunch base, and of course a very good place as well would be crash and practice range, where obviously you have that instant access and control on that helicopter, and of course in that jackal as well. But for now, so far so good. But do take a look at how well Vagabond Esports is trying to figure things out. They will be moving to the far top right map outside of the mini map, and I think they might go to Ski Town, and they're going in for a very passive approach, and they will look to get their loot on going for this early game. So far for VTL, they might be able to be caught up here, up against a team that's very, very close. I think this is going to be the first engagement we will have in a while in this early game.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Riley Esports will be able to battle it on against this team from Team L. And this is a team of NICAEA Falcons. Now, NICAEA Falcons has a good advantage in there with a sniper, but I think it's more of information gameplay. And as we mentioned earlier, it's more of like starting up in here. No one wants to get aggressive because of the FPP mode that we have. However, if we look at, you mentioned about the drop points of Vagabond Esports, Ski Town has been their favorite even from the last season of the Garena Survivors. So I'm really expecting them to drop off on Ski Town. It also provides them with a snowboard if needed based on that location in the map. And that is one thing that we really like to point out. Another thing that we want to point out, that we were questioning the points of DVK. I think that is more of technicalities that game, they didn't get any points for that match because of some technicalities in the rule book. So I'm pretty sure the team understand it. The fans just need to understand and hear it from us that is what happened.
Oh yeah, now it completely hurts because they really have a great start in that first game, but now they just really have to bounce back now. A couple of engagements coming through. Now for Zed, gonna take the ball down, and now for him, look at one more player up top. He takes Jisoo down, and here we go. First 2 kills already involved, and it's going to be E&E getting all of the engagements done. They do have 2 more players to worry about, and that's going to be M4 and number M3, and it's still quite good engagements for them, but hey, no damage is done already. Safe zone will shrink in 5 seconds, and teams are looking to get more of that mid-game action here this time around. Revival Flight taking off as well, and here this time around for VTL, how are you going to pick up all those dog tags?
Yeah, it's very becoming difficult for Vitality CL right now to get those dog tags. And I remember telling earlier, we're in Paul and Joshua what was coming from different team, and they are coming from VV Esports. So hopefully the movement that they have in Vitality CL will give them more opportunity, but it's more of a chemistry as well as a working together that they need to be able to carry over what they've done from the previous season to this season. Now we're looking at VITAS right now. It is a team Dow VITAS who is on their way probably on the next airdrop, who might be seeing yet another team of NRX 420. And this, I'm really wondering on why NRX 420's drop points are really spread out. So hopefully we can get an answer later on once we see the map. But Meow right now is back on that Jackal, and we know Meow, he will give out a lot of damage right there with a Jackal, as well as get a lot of information in this game.
Yeah, information is key here, especially when you're going in for your rotation for that map. So far, so good for Wanted. They now get their winning conditions done deal, and they just have to convert. Right now for VITAS, they are currently placed 6 in the leaderboard ranking where they have a total points of 11. And right now, if they do want to keep their place, wherein the fights are relatively close in that leaderboard ranking, they have to make sure they rack up kills and, of course, get their placements on board. But so far for them, they're not going to be right in front. And it's going to be T.E.A.M, who is currently in that 8th spot. And they are trying to wander around and wait for where that airdrop will drop. And so far, splitting up the leaderboard is going to be Vagabond Esports now with 47 leading the top. And of course, for Team VITAS got 11. So currently they place 6. So that's the top 10 right now. A couple of engagements coming through now for 420. They're currently seized, Wanted. They spot them. And Wanted currently has that terrain advantage. They got the top floor ceiling, and which means they're going to have more chance of taking these players down. And for 420, they'll go in and out and go back away. But look at this. Meow passing over. This is going to be very rough for 420. They got to act fast. They got to get away from the boys of Wanted.
And here we go. The battle continues. NRX 420 right now. I think it is not a getaway for NRX 420 as VITAS is going in for the damage. Demonio right now trying to go in with the Devil's Horde, but no, needs to reload. And Demonio is going for the spray and pray. There goes the hit. Blink and Zeus will be taken out by Jabi and Kuzma. And I think we just lost another team in here, and that is NRX 420 early into the game being taken out.
16th place. You really hate to see it, No kills as well. No placement point for them for this round number 3. They end their journey very early here at this isolated maps, and a very well-planned attack there for Wanted mostly. They got the terrain advantage. They also have Meow on that Jackal, which basically gives them more chance to make 420 panic. And that's what happened. As soon as they saw that Jackal, that Wanted really just tried to feed on the errors and mistakes that the team NRX Philippians 420 had. The next thing you know, they lose their gunfights and Wanted just run them over. First team out officially, but take a look at DVK. After going towards the third appearance on that New Vision City this time around, they are looking in to lock down this custom loadout that will be dropped exactly in the map, but Rivalry Esports doing whatever it takes for them to just cancel out that plane and push this team far in the matchup. So now for Rivalry, they get their winning condition done as well. They have the car that can help them flee and of course move around the map, and they also have their custom loadout that can help them aid in that battle as they push towards the end game.
Yep, towards the end game, that is the target, and I think target will be that Jackal as well. But well, Ral, good luck on you, and hitting that, like moving around with vehicle is real difficult. But no, the hit in there, and I don't think it's just Riley in there going for the hit. It's also the help of the rest of the teammates. But Rivalry Esports are really putting some damage right now, though they are no kills just yet. But the damage that has been brought in by the team, especially with the first 2 rounds that we have, they ended 3rd. So a lot more can be put into, but DVK right now, there's a sight of Yang, and there goes one, and Iza will be taken down, and another one trying to run away. And where are you going? To the moon, as Yang goes in, and Caleb goes for the chase. Caleb for the takedown against Abu, and another one will be in there onto the side trying to get away, but how far, how long will they be able to survive? I think the loss of points in that first round really put in a lot of damage into the souls and spirit of DVK.
The timing was just perfect for Yang, DVK waited for a good solid second before they bounced, and the next thing they know, they get dropped down by the boys of Rivalry Esports. But for NRX XIII, they have the height advantage right now, currently here at this windmill. For Rivalry, they have their custom loadouts ready, which means they are deadly with the way they currently have the guns locked down. And for Rivalry, Caleb looking to get more push coming through here. DVK Grim going to be the last player standing, and now with Derp knocked down by the M21 EBR, DVK is in a state of despair. Another loadout that will be looted by Rivalry Esports. This team is just fiending on all the things that they can get to, and so far they've been winning all of the games.
Yeah, Riley Esports had a good position in every engagement that they got into, and NRX 69 will be the next target that they have. Now, NRX 69 really not performing that well from the first few rounds that we've seen, ending in 14th place from the first two rounds that we have. But Mwezi have a good position, but unfortunate for him, there's no backup really coming from the rest of the team, and all they're focusing on is trying to survive. So survivability, yes, that's good, but trying to fire back, that's even better if they can do it. And yeah, right now in here, just putting in a lot of pressure against Riley Esports, and I think the pressure has been felt by Riley Esports. Thus, they are disengaging. The rest of NRX 69 will be coming back, but no, I think Riley has seen another target, thus moving away, and there goes the hacker class. Very useful in here to take out traps as well as to take out the minimap from the enemy. The footsteps will not be seen, but will their approach? We are just finding out where they are positioned. The next safe zone being shown right now, and here we go. It is a team versus a team into, I think this is from different location, and there, thank you very much. We have E&E right now trying to go in, moving in onto launch base and have a sight on DVK. But DVK have a good position on the higher ground, especially in this tower of this launch base, but they need to be careful because the moment that they will be sighted, like a lot of teams might be able to gun them down with a sniper.
And this launch base is a high kill potential map and the location. You won't see amount of players here, but the amount it yields for kill opportunities is basically high, especially with the height advantage that currently DVK is holding at. It's a good thing that Riley Esports decided to back away. It's a good thing that E&E started to play it slow and act more as a team, and I think that's the reason why they definitely want to stay intact as we go towards the third and the fourth phase of this coming map that we have. So far, it's been so good for them. But there's going to be players right beside him. There's going to be E&E MJ. Right beside is going to be Assassin. This is going to be Dow E&E Phoenix. And right now, if they get this kill, that's going to be affecting a lot of the opportunities that's currently here in this game. But so far, A1 Vagabonds still very far away from the players. They are keeping their distance, and finally you can see them on that minimap. Earlier, they were still staying at the ski town and definitely looting more places more than ever. But now as the circle gets closer and closer, you are starting to see the rotation that the teams are now doing. And here comes the attack. It will be right now up to your rival. Naves, you spot MAGNUS. They get these kills. They're going to get more points in this matchup. But for Kurama, they are going in for the flank as well. It's going to be Diablo. If he spots player MAGNUS on that bridge, he might land that opportunity for rival to clear out one more team inside his game. But there's going to be rewind time that's going to be activated by Mako. Now, unfortunately for him, the timing is just surreal. Rival picked him apart, and that's going to be them now finally getting 3 kills as a team. Now we have 12 teams standing left inside this game. There's still plenty of actions that is going to line up because we are still in the few phases of this third round.
Yeah, the third phase going into the fourth, and at some point the rewind class is a good class to use and to get away. But knowing the timing, like if you are a member of an opposing team, knowing the timing of how this works, and you know that he is a rewind class, the trap might be a good counter that. But no countering against Rival Esports right now as they go in against 13, and 13 Ying Z has been taken down. And after that battle, Rival Esports is still alive with 4-man standing. Kurama right now together with the Diablo, they are taking distance, and we've seen this before. This is similar gameplay that we've seen from Vagabond Esports. And speaking of Vagabond Esports, the earlier we've seen them from the map, and they are so far into the next phase of the safe zone. And I think the gatekeep might be done, or can be done, will be done if someone will be in there challenging Vagabond Esports because of the distance that they will be run by Vagabond Esports. On the other hand, we still have a lot of teams, 12 teams to be exact, and with the 40 soldiers surviving right now, kills can be taken. But speaking of kills, none has been taken by Vitality CL. They are playing it passively, 0 kills so far, but I think the chance is in here against SIGRA.
And this is perfect position for VTL. This is going to be that M21 that we likely talk about more. This is a versatile gun on that long range, and just you can spam and of course just click everybody down And I think VTL Vitality is doing a great job going in for that pressure. SIGRA Esports, yes, they're currently right beside that safe zone. And right now for Vitality, this is the perfect opportunity for them to go in for that push because you already know that circle is closing down. And with Paul being that front man, he could get this kill. Now he is on that flank. If he can time this one perfectly, SIGRA will be going down. And here comes Paul still waiting for the opportunity for him to go and attack. Here comes the tacticals and the lethal that he's going to drop. And for VTL Shy, he's going to take one player down. And for M3, for Shy, he's going to use that sniper to just create more pressure while Paul is slowing and, of course, making sure that he's going to have the chance and opportunity for him to go for that pressure. But looks like he's going to back away. That could have been a landing blow there for SIGRA, but it seems like VTL is going to use the sniper to take these players down. Same with that SMRS. Damage is done. One more team eliminated. Down to the final 11 seconds. Last fight is taken off.
Yep, and SMRS, I mean, we rarely seen that being used right now in this game, but SMRS is back. Like, from the first season of Garena Call of Duty Mobile and Battle Royale, SMRS have had a lot of damage, but it's still bringing in a lot of engagement in here, but not so much because it is very difficult to use as well. The difficulty will not be in there for the side of AXP. Kimish for the backstab against Dizuko, and Diablo will be taken down. Brahma right now trying to fire back, but we have to see who will be surviving in this fight. AXP still alive, but Nash will be in here trying to vulture off, and with that rewind barely gets away because 3 members is just gunning him down, but the rest of the teams are on the backup. Yato taking out Viper into the process, and there goes Kimish, and another team eliminated. 7 kills goes to Vagabond Esports, and this is one reason why they are unstoppable. It's so unpredictable on how they are going for the approach, but I think there's one surviving member. This thing was just hiding into the smoke.
Very perfect leader for P2, Just make sure he stays alive. Get the 13 points for the team. Currently 10 teams left remaining in this game. And Vagabonds now slowly acting. They are currently in the field and they are working. And you obviously know Yato with that jackal that he has. Very useful to create pressure and, of course, skills. But Blue, he spots Dissing. Now that Sniper could get this guy out, and Dissing is getting in the line of attack of Vagabonds, and he's using the smoke spot. That M21 EBR from Blue is enough for him to get shot down. Down to the 19th we go, and Blue, he wants more. He wants more kills. And fortunately for him, he connected, but not enough to get that kill just yet. Merc has to settle down and, of course, get that regeneration to happen. So far, so good. But you got the shot down Vagabonds early if you would want to get that placement number 1.
Yeah, but who can shut down Vagabond Esports early when a lot of teams are just battling each other and Vagabond Esports just waiting for their opportunity to go and take that kills? And that is what we've seen from AXP. The moment that they ended that fight, they adjust. Vagabond Esports just jumped in and fought back. Now, Vagabond Esports in the sides of ENE Phoenix, and ENE will be backing out, still having the high ground. But one thing about the high ground, with a lot of teams close to you, you will be the next target. And we'll have to see. We have 2 ENEs fighting it off. We have ENE Phoenix going against NICAEA Falcons, who will take a win in this fight. And Mark right now just shooting wherever, but there goes a grenade hit from Nash, a triple hit in there with those grenades, and this is coming from Vagabond Esports.
And it's all about the lethal. That is going to be the name of the game for VV Nash as he takes NEHEMIAH down. ENE Assassin is down. They need to regen. That smoke is going to cover them out. And now the push is just going in at it. MJ has to resettle. And now for Merc going in for that push. Trying to hunt down that guy in purple. But still not getting that kill. And Lucky finally out. Vagabonds, they're fighting for the top area. And Jesus is going to get the player out. And Nash trying to refrag it back. Blue will be down. Someone needs to help him out or in order for him to get back and going, but damage has been done. And Vagabonds with Lucky out, that's 1 player. Sniper out for this team, but still they can do it. Their gunfights are just insane. But now here this time around for Dow ENE Phoenix, they have the power to outwill Vagabonds this time around. Can they win this? They have the power position. They got the top control. All this is gonna do is capitalize on what they have here right now. SIGRA, the guy in the car, and it's going to be elimination. Down to the final two teams we go. E&E SIGRA gets that 2 kills. It's against Vagabonds this time around. The battle for number 1 spot is going to be dictated in this game. SIGRA going in for the spray, but now Nash gets out, and you have your winner. It's going to be E&E Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, the loss of 2 teammates from Vagabond Esports right there really made it difficult for Vagabond Esports to really come back after that fight. And with a lot of teams already close to them and E&E Phoenix, Team Dow, E&E Phoenix with a full squad and good position as well, especially as SIGRA that's been on that roof of that compound, the only compound in that area. They have good visibility as well as good angle to utilize that sniper. Thus, T.E.A.M Esports, even riding in the car, it's not moving. He was just a sitting duck in there being feed toward the points of E&E Phoenix. And there you have it, guys. Not so much on the kills, but they take that number 1 spot. But when it comes to kills, Cali, we have Vagabonds Esports. Yes, you can take that number 1 from us, but we will take 17 points in total from everyone else. Thus, they might still be that number 1 just for this round.
Yeah, I think they are still going to be number 1, especially in this game that we have. You know, for E&E Phoenix, they will be having 6 kills compared to what Vagabonds has. That's little. And so far, it's so good. Vagabonds Esports still plays top 3. But now looking at the players on the bottom end, you know, Vagabonds, T.E.A.M, and E&E, they basically did their thing. But looking at the teams that's on the lower end of the games, you know, it's going to be Riley number 4, E&E, NICAEA, FALCONS, and at number 5, VTL and 6. And again, the team to talk about here is NRX Philippians for 20. They placed 16th in this game, and you can't afford to let that happen once, twice, and thrice. Now, moving into round number 4, they need to find a way to triple that effort that they have in this first 3 rounds that we have.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they need to put in a lot of effort to climb up. I mean, as we keep saying earlier, it's only the top 8 that you need to take to be able to get this get into the finals. But with the performance of some of the teams, it's making it difficult for them to really get a good placement, especially with great aggressive teams coming from Vagabond Esports and E&E Phoenix, and to include T.E.A.M as well. Now, Riley, if I'm not mistaken, is also part of that, probably in 4th place, but they have already played their part. They got a lot of kills already and still might be maintaining their number 3 or the top 3 spot in this game. But so far, as we've seen, a lot of teams are really not doing so much in the kills department, especially in the placement. Though there's only a few placement that can be gathered, at least those in the lower placement, they need to get a lot of kills before being taken down.
Yeah, before they get taken down. And obviously for Vagabond Esports, they had a very great start in that number 2. You know, they had a very great start in that first and second round, but here this time around, you know, they lose the high ground position. And I think that's the reason why Dow, E&E Phoenix took this game away from them. You see Vagabond Esports trying to battle up for that top spot, but they get taken care of by E&E. And that's where majority of the kills of Phoenix actually was in play on this round number 3. But now let's take a look at our replay and see what happened. You know, in the early game that we have, Neptune, we did have the early engagements, and it's from E&E, Falcons, and of course, there's going to be Vitality. And obviously, we had a very back and forth plays, and it was the first engagement that we had, but not really the team that got eliminated. You know, it was NRX Philippians 420 that got eliminated, and it really hurt the team's odds of winning, you know, because Wanted really choked them down at this round number 3.
Yeah, I mean, with the help of Meow on that Jackal, providing information, not letting NRX 420 go that easily with a vehicle. And but before we go there, this is where I really love the positioning of Rivalry Esports. It's not only Yang, but it's Yang who provided the information, but the rest of the teams just gathered up surrounding them. And that is one thing, that one great use for a sniper in games like this. But going back to my point earlier from NRX 420, like they already lost Pabi in that game and only surviving 3 members. They have the vehicle, but they delayed their exit in that fight. Even with the Jackal in the hands of Meow, they might be able to get away, but like everything was delayed. The moment the Jackal comes in, the rest of the teams from VITAS also moved in, thus losing members. And if I'm not mistaken, Blink is one of the first people from NRX 420 who move away with a different vehicle, and then the rest of the teams has been taken down. But hopefully we'll see more of the gameplay. But this time we have a team now, ENE Phoenix, changing the pace of the game, taking the win in this round away from Vagabond Esports. But as we mentioned earlier, with the points that has been gathered by Vagabond Esports, it doesn't matter if that #1 spot will be taken out from them.
Yeah, definitely. And for Dow, ENE Phoenix, they had 10 points, which is equivalent to 1 win here at this Battle Royale round number 3. But then again, Vagabond Esports had a lot of kills in their bag. And that's the reason why Vagabond Esports will still remain at the top spot. But, huge props to ENE Phoenix, because now they are able to re-strategize. And you can clearly tell that they are playing more tactically. They got the high ground earlier, and that's the reason why they were able to have more advantage and more chance of eliminating Vagabond Esports. And they just worked the magic there, Neptune. And I think if they could do that once again on that blackout map that we are going to have after this break, it's going to be very useful for them to take down Vagabond Esports for that #1 spot.
Yeah, I mean, with the new map that will be jumping in onto the next match, I think this will be a different pace, different gameplay coming from the team. We know how big this map is, as well as the distance from each compound. So first off, a dropping spot will be initiated, and understanding where you will be dropping off with less challenge will start you off on a good fight. But enough of that for now. We are going in for a quick break. We're going to talk about more of the Garena Survivors Season 2 Legacy after this break.
ニュービジョンシティでの重要任務に関する通達を受け取った。行くわよ。
うわ、楽しみ。
行くわよ。手を貸せ。
あれは何なんだ。
こいつもポストヒューマンなのか。トゲさん。
何やってんだ。
スイッチブレード起動しました。これでも食らえ。注意、移動中です。遅い。そうささやくのよ、私のゴーストは。
立駒、援護しろ。その調子だ、立駒。お前はよくやってるよ。
でしょ、バトルさんは分かってるな。
本当のことだ。
アーバントラッカー会いたかったよ。
ニュービジョンシティでの重要任務に関する通達を受け取った。行くわよ。
うわ、楽しみ。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, and this is still Garena Survivors II Legacy, brought to you by Garena Call of Duty Mobile. So far, we have ended the 3 isolated maps in this day, and we are going into yet another 3 map. This time, it is Blackout. We're still your caster and host for today. I am Neptune the Gem Garcia. Together with me is Cali Gaming. Bring the action to you, to your screen, and hopefully you can like and share the stream, follow all the platforms as well, while we talk about what will be expected from this team on the Blackout map.
Oh yeah, for Blackout, it's a wide open terrain, perfect for long range battle with sniper rifles and LMGs. While battled in its interior spaces in close quarter combat is won by operators or with the best close to mid range weapons. So things are going to be a bit faster compared to what we have from Isolated, because the map here are definitely closer compared to Isolated, and I think this is one way for DVK Phoenix to take away that #1 spot for Vagabond Esports.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at the points that they gathered earlier, I mean, it is a lot. And later, we're going to see the leaderboards in a bit. But I would say, it's not that far. A good play from Team DVK Phoenix, as well as one bad play coming in from Vagabond Esports, might change that #1 spot. But it's a huge ask from ENE Phoenix right now, because Vagabond Esports will not be going down easily, but we know that the change of pace happens when we change map, and this is what they need to take advantage if in case they did a lot of homework, and I would say a lot of homework, because for Vagabond Esports, I keep saying that their tactics are consistent but very unpredictable. It's very difficult to read.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I feel like for Vagabond Esports, that's their truest personality. You don't see them engage early as much as possible. They want to get the loots to prepare them for that mid-game action. And once they do have the custom loadouts prepared in, especially with that M21 EBR, that's where now they take most of the damage and go at it on that late game as well, where obviously have taken 2 wins already in 3 rounds of Battle Royale in Garena Survivors Season 2 so far in this matchup. And with DVK Phoenix taking 1 away from them on that round number 3, it was close. It was a 3v4 situation on that final 2 games, in that final circle. But eventually, DVK Phoenix, they win just because they have the power position. But here this time around, again, as we previously mentioned, Blackout is going to be a very different compared to Isolated, different personality as well. But for now, let's take a look at our standings because currently this is where Vagabond Esports currently ranks, and almost a 20-point lead for Vagabond Esports as they sit atop on 70 points.
Yeah, 70 points in there for Vagabond Esports. And you're right, like almost 20. So I would say it is one good match for ENE Phoenix and one very bad match for Vagabond Esports to flip their around. But 20, it's not that easy. Yes, a lot of teams can get a lot of kills within the game, but going in for the position gameplay against Vagabond Esports, it's like very, very difficult. While still, they are on the way. They are on the top 8. And speaking of top 8, we still have Rivalry Esports in there in 3rd. ARMAMENT RODZINA doing well in there, close behind Rivalry Esports on 4th. Rivalry Esports, as well as Team Now VITAS in here, 16 and 15. And it's just going down 1 point each. AXP Eternals as well as XIII MAGNUS in there with 13 points. But it is still not safe for XIII MAGNUS because they have GGT Esports also with 13 points on that 9th spot.
Oh yeah, number 9 spot. So obviously for GGT Esports with 13, very close with Magnus. Vitality, very close as well. If they do have the opportunity to get some placement points, I believe they could get on that top 8. But so far, it's been so good for everyone that's on top 8. But then again, you really have to emphasize the underperformance of NRX Philippians 420. We kind of expected them to place a little bit more above in the rankings, but so far they're really having time adjusting. And obviously for both of these teams, for everyone that's currently in this game, it's a matter of adjusting your pace as we move into Blackout. And now, Boss Neptune, I think we might see the game pop off any minute now.
Yeah, I'm really excited on how the team will be placing themselves on the drop-off in this map of Blackout. Because so far, most of the points in Blackout wherein it has been challenged so many times is a turbine. Not only because it's huge, it's also usually the placement, if not 1-2 of the choppers. And with this map, and this is one of the biggest map that we have, there's only 2 maps, but this is the biggest map that we have in Battle Royale. And that like mobility that can be brought in by the chopper is useful to move around to get those objectives like the upgrade as well as the green drop and arsenal to their favor. So we'll have to see who will be dropping in there, but knowing some of the teams, they might be choosing the ones farthest from the middle. But here we have it, as we mentioned, turbine in there in the far right, in the middle will be firing range. So both of them will have that chopper gameplay that they can utilize, but there lost a lot of teams have been spread out already, and we'll have to see who will be dropping on the same spot.
Oh, Vagabond Esports, they drop here early. And I was expecting them to kind of go and Hydrodam or Estate somewhere around very, very cold place, but dropped early initially and went into the cargo docks. And obviously the teams are going to be very separate from one another except for that turbine. You're going to see 3 or 4 teams close to proximity, and that, I think, is going to be where we are going to see the initial engagements. Dinosaur already got his QQ9 ready and locked down for him to get some engagements going through, getting also that armor in just to make sure he's going to be hard as he go in for those damages and, of course, those strategies that's about to come through inside this game. So far, early game, as much as possible, you would want to get your loots perfectly insane. And of course, you have the perfect loadout for you to be able to win the gunfights up front. So far, so good for GGT Esports. But for J2, you gotta make sure they play close to proximity just for them to play for those trades, if ever.
Yep, definitely. And for J2, that is XIII MAGNUS, who have a good advantage against Dinosaur, but Dinosaur will not be in stick that easily because he have the high ground at that point. Now back to the turbine right now. We were talking about the chopper gameplay that can be utilized. SIGRA are the ones in this part, and it's SIGRA KRONOS. And there's also another team on the other hangar in here. It is a team VITAS, but VITAS will be moving out. I think they're on their way to Asylum. So it is more loot for them because they only got half of Turbine. Good thing for SIGRA as well. They're not that aggressive, not putting a lot of pressure in this fight. But speaking of pressure, I think the pressure is being felt by NRX XIII right now as Vitality CL is just surrounding them. Here comes Jesuo going in for the push, and no, it just stopped them in their heels. But unfortunate for Jesuo, or for Soul right now, he had been gunned down, and with that AK-47 in hand from the hands of Jesuo, like, it's very difficult to get away, especially on that close battle. The damage that AK-47 has done or can be done in the fight really takes out the armor easily, as well as your HP, regardless or despite of how much nerf it has been done in so many updates.
Yeah, and Soul just really felt the pressure and, of course, the pain of that AK-47 right through from Jesuo. And now, moving in, we got a lot more engagements coming through, and Shai is trying to take down the car, but unfortunately, she's not going to be very successful at taking that player down, and, of course, the car along with it. And so, Vitality will be moving away to get more loot. They do have that Emperor LMG from Shai already, and of course an M20 EBR ready for those long-range engagements. Basically, they are primed and ready to win gunfights, but clearly not enough if you are going up against Vagabond Esports and do in fact DAO Phoenix. Now looking on the end of things for SDPH, Dwayne, they're looking to get up here very close to this building and get more loot, and that's going to be Team G, that's going to be ENE. DAO Phoenix is picking up the Devil. They're going to be right up here, very close to SDPH. They get the landing blow here early for SDPH. I'm talking about SDPH. They get the landing blow against ENE. They might have the opportunity to win this. They have the terrain advantage. They could get the information that they need. They just have to get that intel first.
Yeah, they need to have that angle first, but I think it's more of the response of ENE Phoenix, who will be spreading out and hiding out at the bottom. So, despite of there's a team of SDPH moving in with a chopper, they saw that on the minimap already, and ENE Phoenix just responded, we will be hiding out for now, probably waiting for a perfect opportunity to get those kills, not really showing any footsteps or any of their sides in this fight on the construction site. Now, moving in on to GGT, back at it again, and I think a battle is still yet to be seen right now, but battle rages on the other side. It is ARMAMENT RODZINA Cookie going in for the kill against SIGRA, and that is a sniper shot coming from Cookie. And here is more. KKPG right now is also putting some pressure towards that team, and like what we mentioned earlier, with this open ground, the snipers really can bring in a lot of information as well as a lot of damage towards the team. And I think Cookie will be in a hunt together with the teammates, and here comes ADM being rushed through. Whoa, what are you doing? Browning in there, trying to chill, but there is no chill for ARMAMENT RODZINA. AR Cookie for the kill.
Yeah, he is really back against the wall there. Every angle he takes, he's going to get spotted by ARMAMENT. And so what he just did is stay still, but unfortunately, even though he stick to his position, he still got taken down. Information overload for AR. This time around for NRX XIII, they are on the move. The mid-game starts now, and they're looking to find the best possible way that they get the Arsenal airdrop here at this Blackout map. So far, they're going to just go for that reinforcement. Same goes for Wanted. They would love to fight for those airdrops, and that's what they are doing as well. Moving in, getting those custom loadouts is going to prepare you for that end game where you really have to rely on those attachments to create the difference on the damages that it can do. Close, mid to long range action. So far, Wanted just basically running around. And now, I think they do set their objectives already, and that's where they're gonna go. But a little bit of misinformation here. They will drop that motorcycle, and it seems like they would want to get some action done. And I think they're considering, but it seems like they're going back.
That they're going back, regroup with their teammates. They were not expecting a whole squad in there, and VITAS will be backing off at that point. Now, there's no backing off in here for the fight. It is NRX 420 going against Rivalry Esports, and Pappy and Blink going in for those shots, but the chopper just distracted Demonio at this point, and hopefully that will not damage the performance further by NRX 420. They had a sight of Rivalry Esports. Pappy right now is in here on the high ground and still distracted and focusing on that chopper being brought in by Dwayne. And SDPH right now will try to survive, and I think the gunshots coming from below. It is coming from the other teams of SDPH Vicious, and that was just a distraction, as I mentioned earlier. Just getting those information will not be enough. You need to put in some damage as well, and that is what NRX 420 needs to do. On the left-hand side, we are going to see the next phase of the safe zone, and it is quite in the middle. As we can see, it is Vagabond Esports already in there, and I think they might meeting up with Rivalry Esports, who is very close to them. But objectives is objectives. They need to get the airdrops as well as the arsenal for them to be prepared, and with that high ground as well, I think it is more of one thing that they can go against the team. Now, speaking of going against the team, NRX 420 right now, despite of a lot of teams moving in from all the sides, they still remain strong with 4-man and still surviving.
And yeah, so far so good for them. DVK Faldrus, they're the team that really having a rough time right now. They did have a great first round, but unfortunately they used banned skins just to make sure they get the kills, and unfortunately for them, the kills didn't count. So currently placing fourth right now in the game. But they have a good solid position here at the houses where they could get the shots far away, and it's all down to Derv to nail down those shots, but that's not going to connect just yet. We still have 15 teams remaining inside this game, and NRX Philippians 420, Pabby earlier doing a great job keeping the pressure on that helicopter as well. And obviously now it's going to be all about the custom loadouts that you would want to get from those airdrops. And for Wanted, they are about to close in. They are going to be right beside Vitality, and we are still seeing the same exact play from Wanted. They're using that SMR assist to try to create distractions all across the map. And that will eventually work for them earlier when they played on round number 2, as you see clear picture of the distance that Vitality and Wanted has. Very, very far apart from one another, but very close, as they do want to consider going in for that flank. So far for Wanted, they definitely are looking forward to relocate, and I think they are caught in the middle. Now they have to worry about what team are they going to engage, and I feel like they have to engage Vitality here first because that's where they are close to their engagement.
Yep, but the thing is, high ground has been taken by Vitality, so I think it's more of a high ground that needs to be taken by Wanted as well. And, well, this team down VITAS, they need to position themselves to a point where not only they have the high ground advantage, but also cover, thus moving in on to that compound. And with this approach, I think Vitality might be baited into a different situation wherein they might not be getting out that easily. So it's a good thing for the rest of the teams who flank onto the left on much higher ground, getting more of that visual. But now that they lost visual, I think they heard some footsteps as well as some enemies on the left-hand side, and that is where the battle begins.
Yeah, for Vitality, they spot Bear right across the house, and now Jesuo knocked down Deadly and Phaeton. They're going in for that push. Paul being the front man. Bear, he gets spotted, and now rewind time for Paul. He gets the information. Now he's going to hunt down Jesuo. Now up front, going into close up towards the trees, and Bear back against the wall. Paul very close to proximity, and this guy about to get taken care of, but Bear still managed to run away. Right across the road he goes, but he's going to get caught in the middle of the map where Vitality is currently going in for that engagement. Jesuo now firing, and he knocks down Bear, and that's what this team needs. Jesuo down in Bear. There it goes. It's going to be the fourth kill now for Vitality.
Yeah, they just isolated Bear in there just like a play. And there we have Vitality right now, still holding onto the dog tags, but it's Snowboard and that Rewind class trying getting those dog tags to their side. We'll have to see if ENE will be able to survive, but said not so much. They have been predicted in there with that approach, with that trajectory coming in from ENE. They know where they came from. Even with the rewind class, they can anticipate where they will be going back just in case they utilize that class. But this time, it is NRX XIII trying to move in towards them. With a vehicle, not so much damage, but also might bring in a lot of potential of a kill in here for Wise. But Vitality will not fall that easily with that trap, and the battle will continue on for the sides of a 420. We have a Pabi there going in for the pash kill against the Sick. Despite of Blink being taken down, it is now 3 kills for NRX 420, and I think this is a good start for them to be able to gather up a lot of kills and move up onto the leaderboards.
And now you can see the battle right across towards this warehouse. AR and NRX XIII just breaking away, fleeing. And again, talking about what you said, NRX Philippians 420. Ooh, NRX XIII, what are you doing? Well, going back to what I was saying, NRX 420 now has 3 kills totally, and that's going to be their team high currently in today's matchup. But do get note of that Pabi actually taken care of, so someone needs to revive him, and they do manage to get that name tag, or of course the dog tag, which will help them go back at it. But now, actually, for NRX XIII, to get the timing against Nash, who's wandering around alone, and with him out, Vagabonds is forced to move in and get this dog tags, and NRX XIII for sure. They will do whatever it takes for them to choke down A2, and of course, Vagabond Esports. You can see number 2 in A2 in green is looking to get that attacks coming in as well. But moving on to another engagement, Neptune. Here we go for Wanted. Meow and Jabby, the last team standing. They currently have 3 players across the vicinity, and they're just wandering around, waiting for the opportunity to pop off.
Yeah, and this is GGT who is just waiting for them. Jinsua Ghost Tribe in here who will be rushing in against VITAS, and the trap will be triggered, and a good turnaround by Jabby right there, not really giving them a chance to go in for this hit. But Jabby is now alone and solo, but no! Jack gameplay coming from Jabby, just cleaning house right now, and there goes Mose. Oh, this is Wanted. Team now VITAS right here. Jabby in that play, eliminating everyone, moving towards that door. But this time they also have Phoenix as a threat against them, but they will not be slowed down easily because they have 3 members in that house.
Yeah, that's the good news for Wanted. Now they can go in and just basically push Merc away from this team. But again, there's going to be reinforcements made here. And now Merc gets to knock down Jabby with that AK-47. They're going in for that first. The pressure is on Wanted. Currently low in numbers. They are getting attacked. Merc confirms the kill, dropping Wanted. Meow. And for MJ, this is just perfect place for them. They invade the close range quarter, and they are able to rid down the boys of Wanted, clearing this team out of this round that we have for this map. So now for that E&E Phoenix, they're looking in for that rotation. You know, they go in, get those kills, they bounce out, get for that perfect position for them to take down even more players. But they don't know what's coming up ahead. You know, there's a lot of players that will be right around these hills, and for them, they're looking to secure one of the top spots so far in this map.
Yep, and E&E Phoenix right now is on the road trying to position themselves, but I'm really surprised on how well E&E Phoenix was managed to go against VITAS at that point. And this is one reason why E&E Phoenix didn't stop really, because Merc will be coming back from the revive flight and needs to regroup with the rest of the team. Now, we saw earlier a glimpse of NRX 420, and that might be the team that might be challenging E&E Phoenix at this point. Going in back against this team of Vagabond Esports is Armament RODZINA, but they kept their distance. They don't want to go in on a close encounter battle because they might not have that much utility on them, and it's more of tactical for them to retreat from that gunfight. But Armament RODZINA really doing good at this point. And on the other side, Demonio has been sighted by Sucre, and we mentioned this earlier. NRX 420 might be the next in the sights of E&E Phoenix, and that is what they're doing right now. I'm just looking forward to the response of NRX 420 in this game.
And you know, for 420, they only have 3 players left here, if I'm not mistaken. And for E&E, they have the scopes to back them up, get that information. And of course, for Merc, Assassin, and of course for MJ, they have the opportunity to get more kills at the close range engagements with the custom loadouts that we currently have for them. So far, they have the information, but what's going to be the move? Are they going in for that push, or are they going to stay long term? Because obviously, what they have is that long range, the close range engagements. But then again, looking at the end of things for Vagabond Esports, we did see Nash earlier go down, but he suddenly now picked himself back up here. He's still alive, and they are currently moving in to fight for spawns, and currently ENE is right in front of them, and they're using the tacticals once again to try and create the difference. And Yato takes down Zeus. And I mean, Vagabonds Esports. The tactical and the lethal utility usage is just perfect for them. Now you see the smokes. They're trying to close down that gap. And for Fabi, he gets taken down by rival Kurama. Vagabonds on the move as well. They're trying to push out the players right in front of them. And for Kurama, they gotta be prepared because Vagabonds, they have players chasing him down. And Kurama gets shot down by Blue. And that's one less player to worry about here this time around. Blue is going to show out with an M21, but he gets picked apart. Riley rolled great shot with that Arctic 50.
Arctic 50 indeed, and that it brings the advantage for the side of Rivalry Esports. But this time, Blue and Loki might be picked up, and the advantage will be lost. Watch right now, a little too bold in here, spraying and praying in there with that Jack 12. But the good thing for him, he was able to back out in time. Now, here comes Watts, still putting in pressure for everyone surrounding them, and Rivalry Esports will not be going down easily because they have advantage against Vagabonds Esports. Unfortunate for them, they just let that go. They didn't respond that quickly. Thus, Vagabonds Esports was able to survive. And Yato is still in here, going in and putting a lot of hit in this battle. That is a wall bang indeed up close. Oh no! We have a Blue in there just so like this sync. Just go in and ate that bullet, that gun in front of Blue.
And you really got to admire Vagabonds Esports. A team that got down by Rivalry Esports earlier with Blue and Nash actually down, and of course to a squad sweep from 0 to 100 real quick. Let's take a look at how well Vagabonds made amends in this type of situations. Now that we are down to the final 4 players, they are completely very complete. And now for Riley, they're going to get attacked by Vagabonds Esports, the little, and of course the tactical are getting used, but for Kotaro, he's not afraid. He wants to go in for the engagement. They're closing it down, and right now for them, they are get down by that smoke, and the utilities from ENEMJ is going to cut them down even more. ENE, they still got their house down, but for Vagabonds Esports, they are on the top 3. Can they secure another win, or will DAE Phoenix be able to secure this win? Or will we see Armament be able to get this kill? Because here we go, and you know, AR and ENE are very close to one another, and you're going to see the close range engagements. And now slowly and surely, you are seeing Vagabonds close in the gap. That's going to pick up the kills with that Jack 12. He's going to pick one. He's going to pick two. This guy, who is Daddy? It's Daddy Nash that's going to pick you down. They win it once again.
Yeah, and it's quite expected for them. And knowing that 2 teams are battling it in the compound, Vagabonds Esports will just be waiting. They will be chilling like a villain in there for the chance to vulture them out. And even with those knockdowns within the fight of AR against ENE, they can still get the points in terms of kills because they will be finishing off those knockdowns. So, Vagabonds Esports, they survived in there with an almost elimination with 2 down. They were brought back up and they went back into battle. Imagine, Callie, 8 kills coming from Nash right here. That is a lot coming from one guy. And with Yato taking 6 as well as 3 from Blue and Luki, that is a lot of points right there. If my math serves me right, this is a total of 22 points for this team. I might be mistaken. Into that math, but probably 21. Oh my goodness. I think I spoke too soon, Callie. Nash did 8, but Cookie gets 10 kills in this game. Oh my goodness, Cookie. Give me some of those cookies.
I mean, every kill that he gets, he stole it away from the kids. Still their cookies. I mean, he's just very effective overall for Armament, but do take enough of the pattern that we currently have. It's always Vagabonds, it's always Armament, it's always E&E Phoenix on the top three since we start off to that round number two. And it's always Rivalry Esports placing top four. That's been the clear pattern so far for these games. But Cookie has been very deadly on that close range engagement. Same goes for the way he handles those mid range action. And his plays individually was more than enough for this team to place number two. And the close range engagements that they did have on the house earlier against E&E Phoenix was more than enough for them to place this number two as well.
Yeah, imagine like even in a close range on this perspective of FPP, a lot of damage can be done by a team, and this is a more of preparation, really. Like not a lot of teams has prepared this much to really get a hang of utilizing this limited vision in battle royale. And I mean, they might have done some practice in a multiplayer to get used to the movement as well as how things are moving along when you are in FPP. And that's one thing that a team can do. They can start it off in there, like utilizing all the modes within the game to your advantage and to learn how to move as well. Speaking of moving, like a lot of teams have been moving up in here compared for a previous round. NRX XIII in there is on 12, but I think this one thing that like we are looking forward, the fans are looking forward to, are NRX 420 trying to get some points. They don't have that much points earlier in the previous round, and I think this is a chance for them, but it's still a matter of understanding their rotation as well as going against aggressive teams, surviving against aggressive teams, really, that they need to work on to. How this changed their position into the rankings, still hard to say, but so far, hopefully, a lot of changes will be happening in there. But you gave a good point, Callie, with Vagabond Esports, Team Dow ENE Phoenix, as well as or Armament RODZINA Esports, as well as Rivalry Esports, always in the top four. It's very difficult for them to be taken down easily.
Oh yeah, exactly. But do again, this top four, although they're doing great so far, I really have to emphasize what Wanted VITAS has been doing. They've been so aggressive early game, but as soon as we hit mid to late game, that's where they kind of falter. That's where they get hit down by one of the better teams that we currently have in this matchup. And I feel like for them, the adjustment is play aggressive in that early game. Just try to make sure that you slow it down when you go to that mid game where exactly teams are just going in for the fight. But then again, looking at the replay right now, this was the play where you were casting it, and Jabby was just taking players everyone out of the picture, and that was really it for Wanted. They were doing so great, but the positioning mid game to late game is something that they need to work on.
Yeah, I mean, it is good for them. They were able to survive that. Bad for them because ENE was just waiting around. Now, another close battle engagement in here is Yato. I mean, from outside, from the window, like he was just spraying it on through that wall, and that is Blue just finishing off AXP in that fight. And despite of how much damage can be done in here, like you need to be familiar on how, like, you need to understand how many teams are alive in here, and that is Vagabond Esports has been doing. They know that there are 3 teams alive fighting, and they know they're in the compound because of the gunshots that is happening. That is why they didn't jump in that quickly to go into the compound, because they are waiting for players to be gunned down, to be knocked down. Survivability, as we mentioned, is one of the key factors of the success of Vagabonds Esports, and that is what they proved in there. Despite of like being knocked down, 2 of the members got back up, they regrouped, and then they went in for the fight, not too aggressive, but more of a tactical.
And more of a tactical gameplay. And you did know that they did have those battles late game where they get knocked down, yes. But what they did is regroup and, of course, just low it down a little bit, see what's kind of happening inside the map. They went in opposite of where the engagements are happening, and then they were just able to third party and take down the final player of AR and, of course, ENE Dow Phoenix. So with that being said, Vagabond Esports, they will take round number 4 and they will continue to rise above that rank. They will continue to stay there because of the amount that they win at placement points and the amount of kills that they've been racking ever since the start of round number 1.
Whew. Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of points already in there. I'm not surprised if the gap is that large already between number 1 and number 2, Vagabond Esports and ENE Phoenix. But before we go there, we're going to talk about that later on once the overall standing has been shown. Right now, we're going to go for a quick break. Take advantage of this to like and share this stream and follow the pages and channels as well. We'll be right back in a bit.
ニュービジョンシティでの重要任務に関する通達を受け取った。行くわよ。
うわ、楽しみ。
行くわよ。手を貸せ。
あれは何なんだ。
こいつもポストヒューマンなのか。トゲさん。
何やってんだ。
スイッチブレード起動しました。これでも食らえ。注意、移動中です。遅い。そうささやくのよ、私のゴーストは。
立駒、援護しろ。その調子だ、立駒。お前はよくやってるよ。
でしょ。バトルさんは分かってるな。
本当のことだ。
ビジョンシティでの重要任務に関する通達を受け取った。行くわよ。
うわ、楽しみ。
Welcome back to Garena Survivors Season 2 Legacy. This is the semifinals, day number 1 for Group 1. And so far, we have seen 4 matches already. The first match of Blackout, wherein Vagabond Esports once again took that win. And this time, we are jumping into yet another match of Blackout. But on the caster desk right now, we are your casters and hosts. I am Neptune the Gemma Garcia. Together with me is Cali Gaming, who will be bringing you the hottest action to your screens. And so far, Cali, with that switch of a map, Vagabond Esports seems to be not stopping at all. They're still putting a lot of pressure and also maintaining their lead in this competition.
And I feel like for Vagabonds Esports, the way they handle situations is just surreal. You know, they are calm, cool, and collected. And they trust each other more than enough for them to support one another, of course, when they are going in for those rotations, especially in late game situations where you basically have little time to react. But this team, they slow it down and they know when to act forward. And we did see that from them. You know, they were caught in crossfire, as a fire against ENE Phoenix and Rivalry Esports. So what they did, once they were able to heal their teammates, they go the opposite way. They go in where there are less opponents, and from there on, they were able to just go in third party at the end. But one thing that I really saw here at Blackout Neptune was the way engagements are clearly different compared to Isolated. You clearly see the close range quarter combats in the houses, where we did see Wanted Jabby come out with a Jack 12, and where we did see Nash finish everything off with that shotgun at the end. And now here is our overall rankings. And surprisingly, every time we go and end a round, the lead for Vagabond Esports grows.
Yeah, I mean, it's making like Vagabond Esports is making it difficult for other teams to catch up. Yes, they will be maintaining here that number 1 spot. It's not just about taking that win round after round. The kills will provide you more of the story in there. Imagine 64 kills compared to Team Dow ENE Phoenix, who has 35. And we've seen how Team Dow ENE Phoenix has been so aggressive in a gunfight, even a close battle as well as a long distance. But survivability really is what is the focus of Vagabond Esports. Now, it's how well will they be able to do that? Earlier, we have a glimpse of what they can do just in case they will be put in a pinch and they just got back up and do some damage, a lot more to the other teams surrounding them. Armament RODZINA, on the other hand, was able to take off in here, take that number 3 spot away from Rivalry Esports, and Rivalry Esports has been put down in here with 39 points. Imagine there's a lot of points being gathered by Armament RODZINA Esports in here to go and overtake Rivalry Esports, even if these 4 teams survive the longest most of the time. But this is one thing that I'd like to point out as well. Vitality City is also moving in, creeping in, and Rivalry Esports as well, not too far behind. With Team now VITAS, with aggressiveness that they have, all they think, because this is coming over to your point, Callie, earlier. With aggressiveness that they have in the early parts of the game, they just need to translate that up until the later part of the game for them to maintain their movement up on this leaderboard. And on the top 8, that is the target for the semifinals. AXP Eternals has jumped in with 18 points right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's gonna be very, very close here for Vitality as well for Rivalry Esports. Same goes for Dow VITAS. That's just a margin of 2 point and 1 point lead for that 5, 6, 7 slot. And there's still plenty of things to talk about here. You see that top 8, it's still very close as well between AXP Eternals and GGT Esports. A 4 point lead difference. 1 good placement points could just basically riddle down GGT Esports and AXP Eternals. But then again, you have to also consider kills make the most of your rankings. You know, once you get enough kills for your team, what you're basically gonna get is more points. And of course, it will bring you up on that overall rankings inside this game. And now we are prepared to take flight. And I wonder who is it going to be on that top 4, because for the last 3 games that we had, it's been Vagabond Esports, DAO, ENE Phoenix, ARMAMENT, RODZINA, and of course the one and only Rivalry Esports. This time around, we start the opposite on the takeoff flight. We're still going in that middle though, and now we are going in at it. Let's see who's going to fly further away from their opponents.
Yeah, and Turbine right now, we're seeing a lot of teams clumping up and might be moving in towards that area. But if I'm not mistaken, Team I right here will be moving into the Ghost Town. Like a little bit of distance from the rest of the teams give you a great advantage as well. And so far, not a lot of teams has went into firing range, even if there are 2 choppers. As you can see, everyone is spread out that far from each other, but Trece will be taken down. The dinosaur will be roaring and taking down Yingzi in the process. 3 remaining members for the teams of Trece, Magnus, and the battle continues for them as GGT right now has taken down one of their teammates. Alien will be chased as well as gunned down, but he'll be able to get away. Distance can be put in here on this fight, but that might be to the expense of one of their teammates' dog tag not being scanned in time.
And yeah, the first blood already drawn, and there has to be some serious rotations here for Tess as they go and move in here around, because early in the game, you don't want to miss out in that mid game and the late game action with your players already down by 3 if you don't get that dog tag. So obviously for GGT, great first hand engagements for them. They are prepared to take on what's going to be ahead of them. So for Trece, here is the good thing. They are fleeing away, and they might actually go the far longer distance. They might try to circle going away back. But then again, for GGT, that's the same exact thing that they are doing. That's going to be Shane very close to proximity. We might see some gunfights happening through now. It's going to be your boy Shane right across, but again, for Alien is going to step away and back away, but as soon as he moves in, he's going to be stopped in that corner, and Alien still going at it, but he's going to get knocked down. That's going to be Yo getting that kill.
Yep, Yo in there taking down Alien, and now left to 2 members of Trece, Magnus. And one thing I would say is they have good intention. They could have lured GGT far away, very, very far away from this area for them to take that dog tag without losing a member. But Alien has provided a great distraction for the teams for Mako Cutie to get this dog tag, and that is he is assigned to get the dog tag as a rewind class. Unfortunate for them, they lost Alien in the process and needs to go back in the middle. Now here comes Dinosaur putting a little bit of pressure, pushing everyone in there onto the other side. And this is yet another team, NICAEA Falcons, and the pinch is on against GGT.
This is a tough thing to ask for. Basically, you are caught down in that middle, and everywhere you go, you will face an enemy. But it's a good thing that Dinosaur will be rerouting to a place where they're going to have far better control. So now, here's the thing for them. They are currently in the line of sight of L, and that's going to be NEHEMIAH Falcons. And they also have that Jackal waiting for them, giving them that information right across the flyover here at this map and in this location. But for Trece, I think they've spotted the information and now about to come in with a close range engagement. Mako QT, he takes one. He gets an elimination with a switchblade action. That's going to be more than enough for Trece to make amends.
Yep, Mako Cutie right now is in here armoring up after that engagement, but Alien is back into play, but will be taken down once again. And hopefully that is not a waste for ENE. Still, 16 teams remain and 3 alive for Trece, and Gab was able to get that dog tag. And we'll have to see if GGT will still hold on to this plays, or if Trece really has learned their lesson and needs to move out. But Mako Cutie right now, a little bit too aggressive, going in the middle of everyone else. But Mako Cutie as a rewind, not quite sure what was the plan in there. Gab has been traded in there, and they lost one again from this gunfight. Yingzi, on the other hand, will try to go in onto the other side and take down Yo, but the chase will not be happening as he moved away. But Shy Cutie with this PKM in hand will gun down this surviving isolated member, and will be able to get that kill against Yingzi.
And again, for the boys, they just really played it risky, and that's the reason why they are taken down there very clearly and dearly. But for GGT Esports, now looking to wrap around, get that top floor control as well, you can still clearly see NICAEA and FALCONS very close here. That's going to be Dardel right across, looking to get that dog tag as well. You play very aggressively, you get the chance and you get the opportunity for your team to at least get caught one down. But so far for GGT, they're now looking to go for that push, that M21 EBR against Dardel. That could have been a kill, but it's a good thing that F2 is trying to chase that guy down, Dinosaur, but his line of sight is going to be covered down with that smoke, so great use on that utils for EM. They just tried to try and flee away, and now that they do so, they just have to scan that dog tag and get their team back into this game with that revival plight.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that can be done easily by NICAEA Falcons, and we have ARMAMENT RODZINA also joining the party right now. A lot of battles that's been happening in this area, and there's no rest for GGT. They have been in here from the start of the game, and another contender will be fighting them. Now, who will be taken down next into this battle? It is ARMAMENT RODZINA, still not having any sights of GGT just yet, but closer to the rest of the teams is Cookie, and we know how Cookie has got 10 points or 10 kills from the previous round. How much more can Cookie put in this game? Nyx right now slowly moving in towards the rest of GGTs, and hopefully this is not a reckless move, but as it closes, the gap closes between them, we'll have to find out if ARMAMENT RODZINA can put in a lot of kills this time. As GGT, I think they need a little bit of rest and they keep that distance between them. But the fire into Nyx in there with a sniper, really warning them that you do not cross the line against them.
And now for AR, it can do it two ways, you know, go for that push, or you can go and back away. It's still early in the game, and I think the latter is going to be more important. Backing away, get those good loot before you prepare and take those gunfights ahead of you will likely be the best choice for ARMAMENT. But so far, so good for them. On the good end of things, we see the bad end of things. Right across the map we go. Vitality currently caught in a gunfight engagement, and it seems like Vitality is going to get some players go down, you know. Phaeton already out here, Boss Neptune, and it feels like this is going to be a very long battle in this close range. You know, a lot of early engagements and attacks for both of the teams. In all of the teams that we currently have in this game, you see Jesuo now going in with a shot, and I think I now know the reason why. The team want those loadouts.
Yeah, definitely. Like loadouts or the airdrops really works as a magnet for every team, and that is what's happening right now. Vitality, they were guarding this area, and with the entry of VITAS right here, they have been steered, and another steer will be happening. It's not just a steer, this is a shake by Vagabond Esports, and Yato right now already taking 3 kills to the team of Vagabond Esports, but all they have to do is clear the area and probably move out because they don't want to be caught in between a lot of teams, especially with this airdrop who has been a magnet for everyone, dragging everyone into this area as well. And I think Vagabond Esports will be peeling out, getting back to that safe zone gameplay that they used to do. On the other hand, Yato still not yet over. Odin in hand, going in for the kill against most of E&E Phoenix. And that was just Yato in there spraying and killing from the side. And Jablo right now from Rivalry Esports needs to get away as Kurama will be taken down by Luki. And Vagabond Esports are really not backing down. This is a different side of them. They are being aggressive so far.
And I think I know the reason why. They get the custom loadout that they need, which means they got far better loadouts compared to every opponent that they face. You see Yato right now, he's got 2. He's got that Odin, of course, that Jack 12 right in use. And now for him, he's going to get that kill right against Navis. This team is just prime and ready. 7 kills already in this game, and we're only 10 minutes and 30 seconds in. In fact, they might have like a sub 15 kill mark here for this team as they end this match, but anything still can happen. We are still seeing a lot of gunfights coming towards this team, but one thing for sure, Vagabond Esports, they clear out this area.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and this is different side of Vagabond Esports. No mid to late game anymore. We're going to start off on the start of this match, and that's what they're doing right now. But starting off this match, we saw earlier ARMAMENT RODZINA who went in for the battle against GGT, but they are now battling against SIGRA and Cookie, and they're almost taken down onto that ledge. No back from the rest of the team, and it is SIGRA right now getting one of the dog tags of potting, and I think there will be a little bit of calm in this area, but I think I spoke too soon. Here comes a win right now. Who might not be winning because he will be gunned down. Antelope will not be in play. The spray by Bright. Shine bright like a diamond and put pressure against a Win. And Win right now trying to get away, but the smoke has been released. Will be sighted, and Bright is still on the spray, but no kills just yet as a Win just gets away in there in the nick of time.
Oh, there it goes. Bright gets that kill. Perfect timing. Although there were smokes that was able to cover down Win's opportunity to flee, he was not really able to get himself alive. And now Dinosaur trying to eat Jabby alive with that AK-47. Prime and ready to win every gunfight. GGT, they are rocking this second round of Blackout. Very strong already. Got 8 kills totally here at this matchup. And of course, you just gotta do this one consistently. You want to have that strong game at that early matchup, early game pace, but you would also love that end game. Very strong as well.
Yeah, like dinosaur eating Jabby. Like that is one good reference right there. Can't take that out of my mind. But there goes the kill. Cookie for that Beagle gameplay. And on the other side, Vagabond Esports was able to take down Demonio with that grenade kill. Now, ARMAMENT RODZINA, they have a good run earlier. Bright is still alive, but Cookie will not be waiting that long. It's a good thing, but Bright will not be surviving with the damage of that shot from Cookie, as well as that with the blue zone will be really a cause of death for this team. So hopefully they'll be able to move in, but they have plenty of time. 1 minute and 37 seconds before the next save zone, the next phase of the save zone, but not looking good for SIGRA. What? There goes the takedown. And I think Cookie will survive. And unfortunately for SIGRA, because they have been knocked down outside of safe zone with no backup, they will be dying in there and will be turned to a dog tag.
And you know, for DZAM, ADM as well, this guy is very low in HP, but this team is going to pick him up. But for AR, you get their team acting up very clearly and dirty. And now, Simir looking to get an FHJ kill as well, locking it down. And that's going to be it. Cookie, though, will drop one player as well on that kill feed. Nash runs over Zeus. And NRX 420 having a rough time, you know, getting run over by Vagabonds that way in point in time as well. And now, moving in. Before we start this matchup, you know, here is Rivalry Esports going up against the red team. It's going to be NRX XIII right across the houses that we have here. And obviously, timing is everything. You got to spot that information first before you get engaged. Plan out before you attack, because as much as possible, you would want to leave the gunfights with your team leaving out with complete peace. You know, 4 kills happening true. But now, hey, Watts already dealt the damage, and now will be down. And here we go, NRX now on the move.
Yep, on the move, and we have Rivalry Esports as well, starting it off on a 1-3 split, one getting information, and the rest of the teams are now regrouping to go in for the push. Now that they know that NEHEMIAH will be taken down, it's a more of advantage for them when it comes to manpower. But Mwezi with a Trap Master will prevent anyone from rushing in on to this compound. Wise right now still just looking around. Just wait, bro. I got you in a bit. We just need to secure the area. Just come to us. That is what they're saying right now in the comms. And Wais is just getting that. Oh, unfortunate for them. There's not enough time. And you're down. Run over. That's very bad luck for you. But Wais was able to get the dog tags. Now regrouping with the rest of the teams with the protection of those traps.
It's a good thing that there's still a revival plight here. You know, 1 minute before everything gets down to that wire. And Vitality, Rivalry Esports, and NRX XIII along with SDPH. Very close to proximity. Now you're going to see some moves. Now from Wezi, you spot fade him, but the accuracy will not totally be there. It's going to cause him to gain information already in for NRX XIII. All you just got to do is just wait for the attacks to happen. Vita now looking to right across the right side of the map. And it's not going to get that kill as well. But finally for Soul, he takes Shy down as well. We got these 2 players left for NRX XIII, and best believe they are really standing strong on this battlefield.
Yeah, they need to stand strong because in a bit, 3 teams will be actually they're surrounding them, but the rush might be happening from 3 teams. Rivalry Esports will be one of them who have been showing not much of the aggression. Yes, they have the aggression, but not so much at this point. No kills to their name just yet, and I think this is a chance for them to really clean house, as we are now seeing the turnaround being done by Paul right there from the outsides to the inside. Yang will be out, and Paul of Vitality starting it off, really breaking the position of Rivalry Esports in this game.
All right, Vitality, very passive aggressive for them. No, their aggression is totally calculated, but they gotta act fast now, because the moment Vagabond Esports go into this area, they might get run down. But good thing, for Vitality and for NRX XIII, it's a good thing and it's also a bad thing for them to be stuck in these houses. It's a good thing because they are going to get covered in the walls. But it's a bad thing because once those utilities, those tacticals, those lethals, the grenades set in, and it suddenly tags you down, it's going to be easy kills going to for your enemies. But for Rivalry Esports, they use the snipers to create the difference. And now for Vitality, they are currently down. Yasuo still needs to get revived, and good thing that his teammate will be there. Close to proximity is the key play for Vitality. But do take a look at everyone here. Everybody's in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, this is I would say not a good neighborhood to live in because a lot of battles will be happening, but it is drawn by that airdrop who is in front. But I don't know how much rent they got in here because everyone has taken house. Like a lot of teams are already taking, oh, this is my house, this is my house. Oh, what will be? Oh, they will be evicting one of the teams out here. It is Ral who was able to take down Cookie at this point. And Rivalry Esports, despite of losing Yang in the process, they are still in here putting a lot of fight and pressure against the rest of the teams. They are on the edge, though, not in the middle compared to what we've seen to NRX XIII right now. And NRX XIII, there's no choice for them but to stay still because they've been in a battle, and I think resources has been spent already for them, and all they need to do is wait. But with that safe zone very close to them, once that closes, a lot of engagement might be happening. And just right now, trying to go and take down Nezuko from that window, but will not be able to take them down.
In terms of numbers, it's going to be Vitality. That's only the team that only has 4 players completely inside his game. Everybody's got 3, someone's got 2, and for Vagabond Esports, they are lying low. They're waiting for these players to go in and engage. And for Vitality now, they are swiftly making their move, going in at the house. Close range engagement. This is where the AK-47 shines and where the shotguns definitely will clearly create the difference. We are seeing a professional in action. Yasuo now will be the front man. He's going to go for the play for trades, but for this guy, NEHEMIAH, he's still very much alive, and Vitality finally gets the knockdown, but to what cost? They lose 2 players, and now finally they take the 2 players down, but they have 1 player actually needs to get revived. But it's a good thing that they were able to invade one of the houses, and they're able to push out Mwezi up on that rooftop. As they go in for that push, someone needs to back him up. And for Mwezi, still very much alive. His health is completely intact. But one thing that Vitality has already done is created an ingress for them to slowly move in advance against these other teams that we have in this game.
Yeah, Mwezi really has very difficult because no one will be able to back him out. He's up in a corner, and it's more of luck that needs to be taken by Mwezi at this point. GGT still no rest for this team's battle after battle that we've seen from the early parts of this game, but they are still alive with 4 men. And I think their next target might be one of the teams who are in here, probably Riley, or probably this team who has been waiting. It is Vagabond Esports with the 2 members to their side. Mwezi was still able to go and get that kill with a Jack 12 in that fight. And that is really surprising and amazing indeed being solo at some point, the pressure will be on you, but no pressure for Muezi right there. And more pressure for the other teams who are in here left on the outside of these compounds.
And for Riley, they are up top. Vitality down below. Everybody is just closing in. Very, very close. And Vagabond Esports still very much alive. I mean, it's going to be GGT that has the prime position to take them down. Same goes for Rivals. The safe zone will shrink, and we are going to see these engagements even more intense. First-person perspective is the way to be. For now, Riley Esports still remaining at the top. They get that height advantage. Basically, they can just go for easy kills down below. And I think they now heard what's going to happen inside this game. And this is not it. This is not it. This game is just so compact.
Yeah, so come back, everyone who's being squeezed in right now. And from 5 teams, we are down to 3. And as quickly as that, we have the winner. We have Riley Esports taking that #1 spot in this match. Prime position indeed, and prime timing definitely for this team. But how much kill did they got? Is that enough for them to really move up from that #4 spot? That have yet to be seen in this game. But I'm pretty sure Riley Esports are happy finally taking a win in this match.
I mean, I have to agree with you there, Neptune, because Riley Esports, they've been placing fourth most of the time in the game. So getting a win absolutely is a delight for them. And speaking of delight, Oreo, very, very good. I mean, here, let's take a look at the kills, because kills really matter. Yes, placement matters as well, but kills is where you set the difference. And it seems like Riley got 6. And comparing that to #2 team, which is GGT Esports, who will currently have 14 kills, if I'm not mistaken. That's very, very nice of them. But here is the catch, Vagabond Esports, not on the top 3, but guess how many kills they have? Yato and Nash got 6, combined that's 12. You have Blue and Luki combining for 6, and that's going to be 18 kills total for Vagabond Esports. It's okay if they do not have that #1. It's okay that they have kills.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, same mantra. It's okay. We didn't get the win. It's okay. Got a lot of kills. And imagine, they started off early for those kills, because if you remember how the 2 members of Vagabond Esports, there's only 2 members before the safe zone closes. And with those 2 members, Luki and Yato, surviving, they probably had a lot on the bag already. And when everyone was just moving out from that safe zone, they got a few more. So increasing their chances of taking that #1 spot. But as we go in towards the rest of the teams, ENE Phoenix still maintaining a lot of kills in this game. A total of this is 8 kills to their name. Even a #7 spot, it's not too bad for them, because they will still maintain the top 8 position in this game. Another team who have a lot of kills is SIGRA right now. So SIGRA KRONOS, though a little bit lacking in survivability, but who wouldn't? With that battle that we've seen earlier from the bridge, and Poring trying to salvage the dog tag from the rest of the teams, with everyone waiting for the opposing team, even with a vehicle, even with a motorcycle, you will be taken down easily. But SIGRA was able to make it 2 with the number of kills that they have.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And, when we're talking about survivability, of course, the top 4 spots that really has a survivability rate. But if you're down here at the 13th to 16th place, you got to make sure that you improve. And speaking of improve, DVK Esports, after placing, I believe, 7 or 8 on that first round, they have consistently placed 12 to 16 spot consistently. And something needs to change for this team. And I feel like they just need to place even better when it comes to those rotations on the early games of the match, because that's where they mostly get taken care of there, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they need to work it out. Like, they just need another person from, say, another person within the team who will look at it in a different perspective and read out the situation for their point. That usually is working for some of the teams who have coaches, who have managers, who have another member who will be providing them with the insights that the teams who are focused into fighting and positioning might not be seeing. So those are one of the factors that can be done by this team, and for them to survive, like positioning wise, drop points, I think it's already established that not a lot of teams have been dropping in the same area. It's more of surviving after getting all those loots and also going in for the objective. But I would say it is still becoming heated, but one thing's for sure. Vagabond Esports, even if with a two-man down, they still managed to get a lot of kills. What more? If they survive this with four-man squad, with all this chaos, Cali, I would say a lot more might have been given by Vagabond Esports.
Oh yeah, obviously, and with Rivalry Esports really able to emphasize more on the top floor advantage going into that late game, I think that was the play for them. And that's the reason why they placed number 1 at round number 5, Rivalry Esports. They are built for that late game at that round number 5. They just had the perfect timing to get those kills at the end. But one thing, in fact, the preparation to get the second floor right before the circle closes in is the perfect opportunity for them to steal away the win from the remaining teams that remain out there on that round number 5 late game.
Yeah, definitely. I like to commend as well GGT, because we keep mentioning and seeing them into the game. And even in the final moments, GGT remains alive in there. From the early part, they went in for the battle. They defended their area in there against a lot of teams and still managed to survive later into the game. Like placement as well as the kills that they got, I think GGT is doing a great job. Hopefully they continue this on, because we only have one map left for today, and this might be changing a lot of things in terms of the leaderboard. But before we go there, we're going to go for a quick break, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
ニュービジョンシティでの重要任務に関する通達を受け取った。行くわよ。
うわ、楽しみ。
行くわよ。手を貸せ。
あれは何なんだ。
こいつもポストヒューマンなのか。トゲさん。 そうささやくのよ、私のゴーストも。
立ちこま援護しろ。その調子だ、立ちこま。お前はよくやってるよ。
でしょ、バトルさんは分かってるな。
本当のことだ。
アーバントラッカー会いたかったよ。
ニュービジョンシティでの重要任務に関する通達を受け取った。行くわよ。
うわ、楽しみ。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, and this is Garena Survivors Season 2 Legacy, brought to you by Garena Call of Duty Mobile. And this is semifinals day number 1. So far, Callie, it is 5 rounds already over, and a lot more might be seen in the next round, wherein a lot is at stake. But on the caster's desk, Callie Gaming in here together with me, Neptune the Jammer Garcia, will bring you the action in this show. And Callie, a lot of excitement has been brought in by the inclusion of some of the teams, the returns of NRX 420. But with the performance that they have, do you think there's still a chance for them to catch up on the points in these matches?
Well, they currently stand at 16th place, which is going to be a total of 8 points for them. But I mean, this is just the first day, and first day is somehow always is the worst. Obviously, for NRX Philippians 420, they have a bad day. But for me, the goal is to not reach number 1, right? You have to reach that number 8 spot, and I think for them, they can still turn it around here. And of course, the remaining days that they have to compete inside this game, you just have to worry about one thing at a time. And they have to worry about this coming match first, which is going to be another blackout. And it feels like for them, they could get it here.
Yeah, I mean, you have yet to see what are they going to offer at this point. So far, a lot of teams has offered a lot. And one thing I would say is Vagabond Esports maintaining that number 1 spot all throughout this day. I mean, even if they will not be taking that win in a match, they will get a lot of kills, putting in a lot of investment already into the points. And in a bit, we're going to see that leaderboard, but not much has changed. And let's check it out as we read it out in here. We have Vagabond Esports, who will be taking 122 points in total. Imagine, Callie, that is 82 in the kills. And they are the first team who was able to get or cross that 100 spot from the previous round. And one thing I would say really is with Vagabond Esports maintaining this, I think this is a glimpse of what they can offer towards the grand finals. Though there's still a second half of the semifinal bracket that needs to be seen, but so far Vagabond Esports are not slowing down. They are performing to the best that they can.
Yeah, they are performing to the best that they can, and it's a reason why. There's a reason why they are performing the best of what they currently have in play in these matches that we have. First is the way they use the tactical utilities, the little utilities in action. I mean, Yato has been serving a lot of nade kills for Vagabond Esports, and that's the reason why this team gets a little bit more kills apart from the other teams, because mostly in engagements, you think about the guns.
Yep.
But for Vagabond Esports, they think outside the box. Of course, they use the guns. They use the M21 EBR. They use the shotguns, but they use little utilities, tactical utilities, in order for them to create an even more ingress. And that's the reason why they get more kills in this game. And not only that, this team, they stick behind the circle. And they are really able to play passively on this early game. But mainly the way they handle things is on that mid game where they have the custom loadouts in their favor. And when they have that, that's where they just basically go to work.
Yeah, they are going to work and they're earning it. Like the work that they have is paying off. 122 in the points. Now, let's read off the rest of the list right now. We have Team Dow, ENE Phoenix, and Nihera second place with 70 points. And next to them is Rivalry Esports. So Armament RODZINA has been kicked out, but Armament RODZINA still have a chance because it's only a 1-point lead by Rivalry Esports. Vitality CL right now with 37 points in there, number 5, and Rivalry Esports will be in there on number 6. Now, close to them with only 5 points is GGT Esports. Now, we've seen great gameplays from them, and it's a good chance for Jinsuwa Ghost Tribe to really move up on the leaderboard, but will they be able to maintain it? Because we have a Team Dow VITAS with 22 points, and as well as 2 teams, AXP Eternals and NRX XIII with 18 points. Not too far from GGT Esports. So hopefully they'll be able to maintain the aggressiveness that they have in this game.
And I think that they will be able to do that exactly so long as they stick to the strategy that they plan right before the game starts. And with that being said, there are a little bit more teams that we expected to perform a little bit better. And I'm talking about mainly NRX Philippians 420. They are having a bad day today, and it's fine. It's okay. Everybody has bad days. And for NRX Philippians 420, for 420, they have it today. But the good thing is, the bad thing is, they're currently 16th in the overall rankings. But the good news is, the top 8 and the top 16 spot, the difference is only 14 points. So if NRX Philippians 420 will be able to make a bounce back game here at the final round, they might be able to climb that leaderboard very, very quickly.
Yeah, well, we'll have to find out if they'll be able to do that, because coming from the 16th place, though it's not impossible. Because if you remember the previous season, we have one team, which is ABC Mystic, who went in, if I'm not mistaken, ended day number 1 in 15th place. And then that was the semifinals. And then ended the whole series on 5th place, if I'm not mistaken. So there's still a chance for them. It's just NRX 420 not showing it for day number 1. Hopefully that is the plan. Hopefully that's what we're going to see, because a lot of fans are really rooting for NRX 420 to do that. But at some point, a lot of teams are really bringing in like a lot engagements and actions, trying to put down NRX 420 in the last spot. Speaking of last, this is the last game for today. Back to Blackout, and we're flying in hot from Hydrodam towards Cargo Docks. And I think it is Vagabond Esports who will be dropping late, because we've seen them taking position in Cargo Docks.
Yeah, the Cargo Docks is where they mostly try to make the play. And ever since the start of Blackout, it's where they mostly land. But here this time around, you see them go drop in early and get in early as well for that Cargo Docks. And the good thing is for them, the reason why they're going there is because it has a good tier loot. It also has it also has that verticality. And not only that, there also is a plane that they can use to roam around the map once they are done looting, and that basically gets them then access to make their way on that custom loadouts, that arsenal airdrops that they could eventually use to win these matches. But for now, this is the early game period. Get the best guns, get the grenades, the health items that you need in order for you to prepare for those actions, for those loadout battles.
Yep, definitely. And I think we've seen construction site battle about to ensue right now. GGT, on the other hand, was able to go for the first blood, but this time we have ENE right now going into battle against SDPH. Here comes Sucre for the spray, and Shea Cutie will be taken down. Only 1 man or 2 men left, if I'm mistaken, for the side of Team H. SDPH vicious. Not too vicious at this point. I think they're calming down, especially with the loss of 3 of their members. Dwayne right now, hopefully he will serve as the rock for this team, because he needs to stand tall, taller than any man, to survive this fight. But knowing that we have Team Dow, ENE Phoenix right here, just waiting and holding those dog tags with their life, it's very difficult for Dwayne right now to survive and probably get those dog tags in time.
Oh, now here we go. The engagement is now about to come through. It's a good thing for Dwayne that he's trying to get away from the enemies faster. And now he's going to use this sniper, or no, this helicopter as the escape route. But the AK-47 from Dwayne tags him. And that is it. The first team that will be swept here at this game. Very unfortunate for SBDH.
Yeah, SDPH, I mean, Shooter Dice Philippines right now has been unfortunate in the gunfight. Like, Dwayne might have just waited in there, probably just flew away from that area. And using that chopper really brings in a lot of sound and pulls in the enemies as well. Now, Vitality right now also in trouble. Might be happening similar to earlier because NRX XIII is putting in a lot of pressure. There goes NEHEMIAH, and NRX XIII is back in play with only one opponent to the name of Phaeton. But Phaeton will be that goes that the dark horse who will be moving away. And now the diversion has been brought in by DVK against NRX XIII, and DVK right now it's Isa who is in there on the other side of this boathouse, but the rest of the teams will be flying in. It is VITAS right now with help of Meow in that Jackal, and the rest of the teams 0-1-0 for the hunt against Wise, going underwater and undercover, but Wise was able to survive and backstab, and they're coming from Mwezi, taking down 0-1-0, and NRX XIII still survives.
And you know, we did see ground assaults, we did see aerial assaults. This is my first time seeing water flash basically happening under. And now, obviously, we're going to see more trades here. Jabby confirms that kill with that M4 LMG, and DVK looks like they are a gunner. But still, NRX 69, they are basically so far apart from one another, and which makes it really hard for them to play for these trades. And now for Kuzma on the prowl as well, smoke is delivered. And for Wanted VITAS, it has been a classic they send out the Jackal. And of course, put 3 players to go in for the push on the ground. And for Kuzma, looking to get the Prowler as well. Finding more information is going to be very important. And with his team actually able to claim it, now the damage is done for Wanted. This is a very, very great start for them.
Yeah, great start, though not much on the kills that has been taken in that. I think they were a little too late in the gunfight, and NRX XIII has a clean house already before they jumped in. But it's a good thing for them that we're able to push out a lot of teams. Imagine Vitality with only 1 member, as well as NRX XIII, 1 member remaining to their team. And with the 14 remaining in here in this battlefield, it is really, really likely that a lot of early engagement will be happening, especially Cali. We have jumped in up to this last round, and mostly those who are under pressure put in a lot more in the last round of a day.
Oh yeah, that's where the fight or flight kicks in, and of course, mostly at this last round, it's where the fight comes in. They have nothing to lose, so why not just fight and play their hearts out? But for Rivalry Esports, I think they have spotted E&E Phoenix. And right now, Krama perfectly plays Ninja, and that is it. The first drop comes through, and Merc officially out, but more gunfights now right in front of him. Assassin and Sukre gonna be there on the body system. Rival Naves making his play around the back, and now the smokes comes through, just covering down, and of course looking to close down the gap that they have against Dow. And for some odd reason, we do see E&E fall down. Naves with the flank, he gets one more close range engagements to worry about, and now it's rewind time, and it's going to be Assassin looking to take him down, and that's going to be it. Trades comes through. Assassin gets 1, needs to recover his health. Now he's using that plate, but Diablo on the hunt. He gets 1, but unfortunately, here comes the play coming through for E&E, and Assassin, they get the kill. It's a good thing that MJ is there to back him up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with how this turned out in this last game. I mean, early engagement is happening with no regard if whether they are surviving or not. And this is one good thing for E&E right now, because even if they lost 2 of their members, they can easily scan them and also get a lot of kills. Imagine 8 kills already. That is 2 squads that they wiped out before heading into the next phase of the safe zone. And this is good news from Team DAO-E and ePhoenix. They will be able to maintain their top 2 spot if they continue this on. But AXP, on the other hand, going in onto this area, no one surrounding them. And as AXP right now sits in 10th place, it's not too far really from that number 8 spot. But they need to make sure that survivability is in their favor. With the 3 kills that they have, good investment, I would say. But they need to put a little bit more of effort in surviving, as well as putting in a lot of gunfights in this game. The scan coming from Mizuki Cutie will not be proving useful. Not anyone or no one is on the side of their team, and we'll have to find out who will they be challenging next, as we have the next safe zone already dead smack in the middle of the previous one.
Oh, this is going to be more interesting because, Vagabond Esports on that map, we see them now engaging, and I think they are now confident to make the move. They're going up against Rivalry Esports, the team that they eventually swept earlier at round number 1 of our blackout map. But this time around, they're going to flee away from the scene, as it seems like they are not wanting to take the risk here early. It's going to be them still having no kills, which is very, very interesting because they're mostly making their move on that mid game. We are now down to the final 37 players, and they still haven't found any kills just yet. So they need to play it passive. Let's see if they're going to make some adjustments going into that mid to late game. But for now, Rivalry Esports, they are wandering around the map looking for eliminations. And here this time around for the leaderboard, moving into round number 6, we got Vagabond Esports sitting on top with 122. Team DAO-E and ePhoenix with 70. Rivalry Esports with 55. ARMAMENT and RODZINA Esports with 54. Vitality with 37. And the game for the battle for that 6th to 10th spot, very, very close. Rivalry with 29. GGT with 24. DAO VITAS with 22. NEHEMIAH 69 with 18. AXP Eternals with 18. Now that we are talking about leaderboards, let's talk about Vagabond Esports and the way they have impacted this game. They have been so great with the placements, but they are also efficient with the way they handle the kills here, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, they know their usual gameplay is to go in mid-game to late game, wherein everyone is in the sniper line of sight. The previous one, I think they started off strong. They met other teams as well early into the game. One reason as well as they were left with 2 members. But this time, they are maintaining to go into survivability, 4-man strong. Thus, they pulled away from the battle. But no battle will be pulled out in here because Nash will be taken down 0-1-0. And Nash going solo right now with 2 dog tags on the ground. This might be the chance of other teams to take down Vagabond Esports. But Loki will be in there jumping in on the other side. And Meow has nowhere to go, trying to get away from the gunshot. And the grenade right now proving a little bit of distraction for Vagabond Esports. But Meow has missed that run with Kuzma on that vehicle, and they have repositioned. It's now a 2v2 situation right now between these 2 teams. Luki right here will try to go for shots through the window. Kuzma was able to get away, but with only 1 hit remaining, this might be a chance to take down Kuzma. But getting into that snowboard, Kuzma gets away, and Nash will not be able to get that kill. Luki will try to take down the vehicle, but Luki will miss, and they will be regrouping as the rest of the teams. Yato coming back from their revive flight in 1 minute. They need to get a good position, but most wanted is not yet over. Wanted VITAS not yet over from this team, as they need to get the dog tag and scan them to bring back their teammates.
Yeah, the good news is Jabby can still be revived so long as the dog tag is still available to grab. But for Vagabonds, they did the damage. They did most of the damage. They did lose 1 player in the process, but it's a good thing that there's also 25 seconds left for them, enough to reload and, of course, to bring back their teammate here at this matchup. So now for SIGRA, one thing that they didn't do earlier is what they're doing right now. Stay alive on these late games. Now for them to place top 10, that's basically more than enough. Now, will they be able to back it up with the gunfights? It's just all about the match point, but it's all about the kills as well. We currently have 29 players staffed in the battlefield. and there's going to be one player coming along the way from that revival blind, and that's going to be A1 from Vagabond Esports. So for now, for AXP, looks like they're going to settle their defenses here, and they're marking their territory, and that's going to be here this house.
It's a good play in there, but the sync blocking that with a car, and even if anyone like opens it, you have a car in there, you have an ORV in there just waiting for you, and we'll stop you in your tracks. Now, on the other side, we have ENE in the battle, trying to go in for those airdrops, and we have one taken down already. MJ is out for the count, but Assassin still has a chance to go in for the cover. 3 kills to his name already. A lot more can be done if he'll be able to sight out this SIGRA team, who is on high ground, who has split up in here onto the dog tags of their teammates. We have the smokes being used right now, but a getaway will be happening as Tipsy or Psy ADM right now will be moving out. Assassin, on the other hand, will be gunned down by Bright and SIGRA. KRONOS really buying time and making sure that they survive in here. But I don't think that will be happening for long, because Rivalry Esports is getting close to them. So if they don't have good position, they might be taken down here. But Rivalry Esports will be split up, and SIGRA has a high ground advantage in this game.
So basically, they're ready to go and get these kills, and they're using that. They're enabling their snipers to do all of the kills. And I mean, for ENE, Dow ENE Phoenix, you know, it's such a big risk to you to go out and get the loadout, that airdrop that just came from the skies without any sort of cover. And then, I mean, that's the reason why SIGRA was able to pick them up with those snipers. And you really have to emphasize how SIGRA really prioritized to pick out players, fishing players on that loadout. And that's the way they handle the kills there. But for some odd reason, we will see Rivalry Esports right beside the team GGT Esports, who currently has 2 players left. Make that 3 with Dinosaur right across the house and 1 player coming along the way. So basically, they have 2 angles covered, but the big risk is here. Once Rivalry Esports starts to flood them one by one, they are going to get overwhelmed. But for now, not going to be any actions just yet. You do see DVK Esports staying alive as well. They are part of the top 10 here, currently at round number 6. Plenty of things to consider. Plenty of stuff that can happen still. But for Rivalry Esports, the key to victory is stay alive as much as possible as a team and get that end game in favor.
Yep, definitely. I mean, they need to stick together. If one goes down, if one gets knocked down, it's easier for them to go and pick them up. Assassin right now will be stuck in between 2 members of SIGRA. Bright finishing them off, and Assassin will be out. Now, how much more do we have from this team of ENE Phoenix? I think that we have a mark in there on the other side, but Rivalry Esports will provide a lot of pressure, and GGT right now is in there taking some damage as well, but Rivalry will be able to finish off some members of SIGRA. KRONOS. And here we go. Watch right now looking into the smokes, trying to spray and getting information, but no damage, no hit mark will be made. We have a sniper from the hands of Was being used, but no hit once again. But the rest of the teams, I think they have closed in the gap between SIGRA, KRONOS, and Bright needs to run away. They will be able to escape, but with the loss of 2 of their teammates, I don't think it'll be easy for them to fire back.
It's going to be very hard, especially when you go up against players that has 4. And I mean, Rivalry Esports is set to hunt them down. It's going to be Raul bringing in the car. I think they are likely going in to push away SIGRA on this map. As you can see, they are on their way there. SIGRA DZ is going to be up close, but on the other end, we have AXP. It's going to be Eternals now pushing against DVK. Gunfight's about to come through. Dissing stack in the car. And Viper needs to get that play as well. And here comes the Jack 12. Very useful in this close range engagements, but smokes are going to come through as well. And that's going to be more than enough for DVK to get that kills. And AXP still survives. They want to get this win. They sent out Mizuki to use that sniper on that long range engagements. And I think that's more than enough to bully out DVK. And now AXP, they have the high ground advantage.
Yeah, I mean, good enough. They have a high ground advantage because they really didn't do that much against DVK. They had the war machine in their hand, not really taking down any players, even with a vehicle. Not so fast into the engagement and to the chase, letting DVK get away. But I don't think there's anything getting away for this team of VITAS right now. They are being flooded by Rivalry Esports. The moment that they get spotted, they will be taken down. But no, it is 0-1-0 going for the kill with the Jack in there. And the Meow right now for the hit with a Posh, with a backstab coming from Kataro, ending their lives. But that was unfortunate for Watts right there into the game. Round will be picked up, but Rivalry Esports will be left with only 3 members in this game. 7 kills already with 6 teams remaining in this fight. Not so much for them to really move up onto the leaderboard against Team T.E.A.M Phoenix, but enough for them to maintain their spot in here on number 3. The Sync will be joining them on the other side. I don't think the Sync has seen Rivalry Esports in this area, thus that mistake of stepping over that boundary.
And I think for this game, it's going to rely on this close range quarter combats once again. DVK back for blood. And now they are going to get attacked here, but it's good thing Sucre has this RPD. A lot of magazines, a lot of ways for you to spam, and that's it. You know, Abu did all his time and he get picked apart. So far on this one, NRX Philippians 420 actually has 1 player alive, and that's going to be DN3. That's going to be on the top left side of that minimap. While we do see these 4 players engaged in battle, we will not see Vagabond Esports last enough for them to survive this matchup. So they leave it down to AXP, GGT Esports, Team T.E.A.M Phoenix, Rivalry Esports, and a couple of players backing along the way. That's going to be D3 and from NRX Philippians 420. So the strategy for all of the players, get into that hideout. Get into a place where it's going to be close range engagements. And for GGT Esports, this is a prime position right now. Oh, and that's going to be their teammate. I got surprised. But hey, for 420 Demonio in that kill feed, he definitely wants to get involved in those gunfights. Despite being the only player alive, he needs to wait it out even more. And it's a good thing he is sent out around the back. For AXP Viper as well, they get a top floor control. But can they be able to survive Demonio, who's going to be right across the side of the map? And Demonio now hiding around, playing like a snake, hiding around the roses. And of course, this is just basically good for them because the more you place in, the more placement points you get. But this thing picks him up, Demonio gets him. Now, here we go. Final 3 players, Neptune.
Yep, and 4th place for NRX 420 at this point. We still have AXP and GGT. GGT is 4-man strong, though Yo will be tagged up in there, but Viper will not be able to commit because there are 2 members to their name. They don't want to risk it that much, but in a few seconds, we're going to see these teams being squished together in a prime position for Merc right now to spot out anyone running away, and probably on those rooftop. The Sync is being tagged right now, and there goes the hit by Merc, but the Sync will be, oh no, that was not a hit just yet. Mark was missed in there. The Sync just moved in, but with the 2 members of AXP, they're scrambling in this fight against GGT. And there goes the breakdown. Opened up. This is GGT just killing everyone in those doors. AXP really didn't have a chance because GGT have prime location as well as manpower. Now it is Lau left to the 2 members from different teams right now challenging GGT, but no, GG's, I would say, for GGT. They take a win in this round number 6.
They came close in that round number 5, but isolated or at the blackout. Oh my God! Look at that dance moves. I mean, live emotes. I mean, it's possible. You know, it's of course winning against the best of the best teams will actually get you riled up, and that what happened for GGT Esports. They came so close in that last round in that blackout, but here this time around, they have the perfect strategy, and I believe hiding in that place for a long time did them wonders.
Yeah. I mean, position from that area, it's more of survivability really that they are focusing on because they have a lot of chances already to go in for the kill. Oh, I think we have a little bit of intermission at this point. Let's see in a bit what will be happening in our game. And there you have it. We have our faces in here. And you can see the excitement, the happiness that we have in these matches because a lot of gameplays has been shown. Vagabond Esports has been taken down in there, not surviving to the last phase of their gameplay. Not that we want them, I would say, I want them to be taken out early because at some
Yeah.
point we want to give out that position, those kills, those points to the other team. So I would say good enough for for the other teams to take down Vagabonds Esports in this game, but the investment has been done by Vagabonds Esports. So I think there's a lot more that needs to be offered if they want to take over the reins of this team. But GGTs, I would say GGs definitely. Because imagine that is a total of 14 points, 14 kills for them. So that's 24 in total just for this round.
Oh yeah, basically with that being said, GGT Esports came so close at round number 5. They did have the kills to back them up, and they also plays, if I'm not mistaken, on the top 3 as well. But here this time around, they had it. 14 kills to back it up. Yo and Dinosaur, they were so incredibly very versatile on that last round at round number 5. Here this time around, they were able to reciprocate it back, and with enough effort, they were able to take it. But a couple of surprise here, for most of the rounds that we have, we did see Team Dow in Phoenix very consistent on the top 3. And I think with them there, they're basically riled up to make sure that they remain that number 2 spot in this matchup. And a couple of more notes here. NRX Philippians 420 struggled placing themselves in the top 10. They keep on consistently placing top 14 to 16. But here this time around, they were able to do so with Demonios left alone on the final engagements on that final circle. He had 2 kills, and of course, with placing 4th, you get 4 points as well. So I think that should be more than enough for them to climb that ladder here, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, well, placement point, yes, they will be able to get that, but in terms of kills, survivability, that's what we are hoping for this team. I'm pretty sure a lot of fans out there are really happy that they were able to show up in there on this last round, but we're really hoping that they will be showing up on the remaining 2 days of this battle. But going back into the scores, look at this. We have wanted VITAS right now, or Team Dow VITAS right here on number 7 spot, but they got a lot of kills as well, 8 to their name compared to the ones above them, like surviving longer. This is one of the teams that can provide us with a lot of kills for the points, but hopefully they can also go in for those placement. A lot of potential, really. It has been pointed out, especially with the members that they have, though this is a combination of like new teams moving in on this team of VITAS, but this name has really give us a lot of aggressive gameplay, even from the other tournaments in Battle Royale, as well as the previous season of Garena Survivors. So looking forward to more of them. But this is what we're talking about earlier. Vagabond Esports on number 9 in there, only 6 points their name, and it will not be that much of a downfall for them. This might be a chance for the other teams to overtake them into the points, but not so much to take them down from that number 1 spot.
Oh yeah, exactly. And that lead for that number 1 and that number 2 spot still very huge. Vagabond Esports, the only team today that will reach 100 points. And specifically, it's going to be 128. So very huge there for Vagabond Esports. They start off their day 1 very strong, but a lot of these teams will for sure have better gameplays as the days progress. And I'm talking about day 2, and I'm talking about day number 3. This is just the first day. There's still plenty of things that might happen. And for now, we will see a little bit of a shine for Vagabond Esports, Dow Phoenix, Rivalry Esports, and ARMAMENT RODZINA Esports. And we did see GGT Esports make their way late in this game, but there's a lot of players or teams that you can't really just disregard. DVK Faldrus had a very rough time earlier, but here this time around they were able to bounce back and place top 8 in this game. Then also do consider Team Dow VITAS, and of course Rivalry Esports is making sure that they are going to be in the middle of the pack, placing 8th and 9th place currently at this game. And now here is our highlight, and here is our replay. Early engagements coming through towards this construction tower.
Yeah, the construction site right now is really a good way to start a fight. It serves like a platform from the isolated map because of the up and down that you need to do. But I just saw earlier when we started off this highlight that the GGT is the first blood in this game, and I think that is a good momentum from them for the first start from the start of this match going into the late
Mm-hmm.
game of this battle. But I would still say ENE Phoenix is doing a great job with the aggressiveness that they have. They were able to get a lot of kills. Riley Esports, on the other hand, I mean, they lost to Vitas in this fight, but not so much that they not so much that they lost the members. And oh, this is the moment, the final moment of
Yeah.
this game. Imagine GGT in here just closing up, and no one, even the feds, will be able to gun them down. They have been pushed by AXP, but the other teams really cannot push them out. Merc might have a chance in there on the other side, but Viper just turns around and kill them. And GGT, GG's to them. They take the win in there, and good chance for them because if I remember it correctly, they were on the bottom half of this leaderboard. And with this win, imagine additional of 24 points and how close it was from the bottom half of that leaderboard. They might be moving up that quickly in the top 8 spot.
Oh yeah, exactly. GGT Esports, number one to end the day. They will be placing fifth, if I'm not mistaken, with the way they perform here at this game. And I really do love the point that you did do say earlier at that replay. GGT Esports starts up the first blood, and they end it with the win. And I feel like great start for GGT Esports is the way to go. Get yourself involved in those gunfights early, get those loots that you need, get the airdrops that you would absolutely can use for you to kill even more players. And talk about the tactical brilliance that GGT Esports had. They predicted where the circle will close in, and this time around, they were stuck in that garage. They still had 4 players, and that totally means once you enter one spot, you're going to be stuck in that middle, and that means that could be 4 players gunning you down, and that's not a friendly sight at all.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a good play. It's a good plan for them. Knowing that they count the number of players alive as well as the number of teams that they have. So they great advantage with the numbers as well as the gameplay that they have, not really risking anything. But we are going to see the leaderboard and how much has it changed with this win from GGT Esports. And I'm looking for them right now. And there you have it. They are on number 5 spot. They have overtaken a lot of teams. If I remember it correctly, they got 24 before, like they have 24 before jumping in onto round number 6. And with the points that they gathered, jumping in onto that number 5 spot with 47 points. And this is what we're talking about. It is not impossible to cross over, especially if you can survive and make a lot of kills. So those on the right-hand side, probably they can give us a great show by the following days because they can cross over the top 8 and make it to that finals.
Yeah, make it to that finals. GGT Esports, before they move in, as you said, they had 24. And at the end, they got 47. That's 23 points they tallied up. 10 points for that number 1 placement point that they had. And 13 kills. Enough for them to win this game exactly. And there's a lot of things that you really need to consider here at this matchup. But for Vagabond Esports, they can really conquer isolated. But here at Blackout, they're just one team competing because ENE Phoenix, Rivalry Esports, GGT Esports can really give them that tough fight. And again, the way for you to shut down Vagabond Esports, take them down as early as possible. Don't let them get those custom loadout that they need in order for you to have an easier time defeating them. But again, it's easier said than done. This is Vagabond Esports, a very experienced team. They are the champions for a reason. And you just really have to double down your effort.
Definitely. I mean, they need to double down. Start it off early if they want to. If you really want to battle it on against them, just take note of the drop points that they have. And if you're bold enough and like mechanical skills wise, you can take them down, then go ahead. That is a challenge for a lot of teams right now because this day is over. Day number 1, 6 rounds already over. And as you can see, the result, it has been explosive so far. But let's check out the schedule for the next day. And this will be happening tomorrow because it doesn't stop with that one day. Tomorrow, once again, same time, it's 6 p.m. Be here. Follow all those platforms, Facebook, YouTube. Check them out. Just make sure that you follow, subscribe to them so that you will be updated and you will be seeing the live stream right now. A lot more will be happening in this game, Scally.
Oh yeah, exactly. Will Vagabond Esports be able to continue their dominance? Will DAOENE Phoenix be able to find a way to get that number 1 spot? There is plenty of things that you really have to consider moving into day number 2. And the fight for the top 8 is going to be very intense. For now, it's going to be a 14-point lead from top 8 to the top 16. So a doable situation, so long as you have the chance to be able to be GGT Esports, who just suddenly pop off and get 23 kills in just a single round. But this is the first day of Garena Survivors Season 2. It's been a pleasure casting this event. Once again, I'm Cali Gaming, down here with one of the best multiplayer and Battle Royale casters, Neptune the Gentleman Garcia. It has been a day. We'll see you guys on the next match.